the Professor.
Good shit. Late to every episode. Late so much, I'm going to have to buy you a pregnancy test.
Bob Rude.
I want to be a podcaster. Yay!
His mama named him Kenta. I'm going to call him Kenta.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. That broadcasting school is really paying off for you.
You're so high you don't even know it.
Ahoy, my boy. You ready for a Scotch ad?
We don't know anything about him. The only thing he's got in his wallet is a bunch of names of whorehouses.
That's Flair!
Probably looked like Jim Duggan digging the tape out of his crotch.
Benoit, enjoy my wife.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Oh my god, mine just stopped recording. No, we're good. We're still recording.
What a dick! I'd cease and desist me. I'd cease and desist me hard.
I need a minute to recover off that.
What kind of game is it?
War games! Ladder war! War games!
You're our impressionist.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing I've said in the last half hour.
Bark like a dog.
Oh, jinx. Holy shit. How did that actually happen?
Here we go.
Good WrestleMania week! Change up for the day. It's the Top of Wrestling podcast, and you know what that means. It means it's Wednesday. It's 12 o'clock, and we are here and ready to go. We have a lot of stuff today. A lot of good shit. Everything minus Nightwing when we say good shit. He'll be back next week, but this week we have everything that you can expect for WrestleMania week, the big weekend that is in Texas. We have some news. We got a little bit of AEW results. We have our Bring It to the Table. The Hart Foundation reunites on Monday Night Wars with so much more. And our top topic, we are going to talk the top WrestleMania events of all time and maybe even do a little bit of a draft of our own to maybe see if we can make the better WrestleMania compared to, well, what we know is as good as it gets because it's WrestleMania 38 this weekend. A two-night shebang that could have been done in one, but it looks like a regular Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, O.D.M.
Yeah, you didn't do the intro that I thought you were going to do, so it renders my intro useless. Way to go, Chief. We're off and running.
Oh, I should have kept reading. Wow. I'm not really good at reading. Well, if we're being honest though, end of the day, you know what? That's fine, but it's good that I didn't read that line. Some lines shouldn't be said. Some things shouldn't be crossed. And that being said, I think you need to keep Will Smith's fucking wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
It doesn't work now.
Just saying. Oh, come on. It worked.
We're past it. I don't
Speaking of a work
anymore.
Was it a work?
It was a work.
Dude, I love every wrestling type forum. They're like, well, as you can clearly see, he leans into the hit. As Will takes the slap, he also pulls away with his body weight. Everyone's, breaking it down as to how much of a work it is. I was like, God, I love the wrestling community.
It was Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff posted a still of it and goes, if that doesn't clear it up, then nothing will. He says something about it was worse than the time that I slapped the Undertaker or some shit like that. It wasn't Undertaker.
Oh my God.
He goes, it was worse than that.
Oh, man. Well, look, there's only a couple of days left in this fantasy league. And as it stands right now, I'm in first by about, I think, 200 to 300 points. And I believe...
250, something like that, yeah.
You are second, and then behind you is like the nearest would be maybe a 50 to 100 or something like that.
Yeah, something like
Someone's going to have an unbelievable weekend. But here's the thing. It's not like there's multiple elimination matches. Most of them are one fall matches. So, and it's not Battle Royal. The only thing that may save someone is the Andre Battle Royal. They didn't even do a women's Battle Royal this year. We'll get into that. But, man... They say at the beginning of the season with this fantasy league, be prepared. There's going to be a lot of shit talking. We're going to We want people to cut promos, have fun. And it started that way. And come on, let's go back to today is episode 13, by the way. Lucky number 13. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing with how this show is going to go. Last week, we already argued about Todd Pettengill's song, so we'll see how this week goes. But about maybe week 2, I think this got started, maybe even week 1, or maybe even right before that, we had the Fantasy League get started, and everybody's cutting promos, and that is when the Kelly Kapowski title was taken from you. And, oh, guys, we got to do a video
Reality show
thing. Everybody should start a reality show. We should all get started doing promos and stuff. And this was Tiger Queen bringing this up. And I put up a video the other day. I am the first video of a promo in Lord knows how long. And I said, it's a quiet group here, man. WrestleMania's a week away, and y'all are pretty quiet. I go, it's a sad, weak-ass league, man. I go, Commissioner, all you do is post things that are like 4 or 5 days old. It's like Big E broke his neck, and it was on the Wednesday after. We're like, really? Things like that. So I'm calling him out. Do you want to explain his promo back? I would love for you. I actually want to see if you can maybe even do a little bit of the, maybe give it a impersonation.
Yeah, here.
It was quite goddamn funny.
Here, it's going to be hard for you to see me because I'm going to adjust myself. All right, you ready?
Oh, are you going to lay down and look like you're basically,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing under the covers? Yeah,
ready?
okay, go ahead, because that's kind of what it looked like.
Hey, guys. I've just been too busy with work, my dog, posing for headshots that looks like I'm taking a shit. What the fuck was that?
It was a horrible.
What the fuck was that?
It was like almost duck lips, but then not. Yeah, it was all right, first of all, right, people can't see what you just did, but when you did the lean back, you even rubbed your forehead the way he did. Like, oh, guys,
Right.
I have work, I'm taking care of a dog. Yo, I got 2 dogs, and I got 2 jobs, man, and this podcast. We all got shit going on, but you can't tell me you can't take your phone. You had it, no problem. You can, but he still writes in. It was, come on, man, let's be honest. But all those excuses, I can't wait. He goes, well, there's going to be some new rules next season. And that's one of the things he does in his thing. I'll give it a shot. But one thing for sure is next season, we are going to have a change. And think about creating a public page for this fantasy league. Immediately I go, huh? And then he goes, and I'm thinking we should all make this a reality show where we're cutting videos. And my immediate thought goes, you must be out of your goddamn mind, because he just got done saying at the beginning, guys, I'm way too busy with work and stroking my own dick to be able to actually record a video promo. Now we're going to do a video-based reality series. What, are you going to have cameras set up in your house? Never mind. Look, we're going way too in-depth on this. It was just really funny to hear all this shit, and I was just cracking up. But I'm about to be your winner.
Well, I don't know, man. WrestleMania is Horseman might jump up ahead. I'd be fine with Flamingos hopping up. Tiger Queen ain't.
But here's the thing. All right, let's just say, okay. Horseman has Rhea Ripley and Lesnar. Okay, she wins the title. He wins the title. That's great. You win a title match at WrestleMania. That's combined, they'll gain both those matches are 50 points. I'm 250 ahead of you. You have to have an elimination kind of setup. And unless you have dog shit, I don't know. I think I got it locked, but you're right. It's anyone's game.
You're definitely in a position to just take it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know.
Who has Cody? Who the fuck has Cody? That's a question.
That's a good question, yeah.
We'll travel down that road. Well, hey, man, it's WrestleMania week. I really don't want to spend too much time on our news because I'm all giddy with how much WrestleMania stuff is going on. Did you look at the notes just recently and see how many events that I have put in here? It's going to be quite a day for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is mind-numbing. You're welcome. So, all right, let's start with the biggest news that happens, of course. Every time we post our show on a Wednesday, hello, Thursday morning, here's some big news. What happens?
All right, well, Triple H is officially retired from wrestling. I thought he was anyway, but never mind.
Same.
No, I knew he was. But the outpouring was great. It's great to recognize his contributions. For a while there, he was like the most over or most successful jobber ever. When you really look at it, at least back in the beginning, he really didn't take off till later in his career. Smart businessman, understands the business. It certainly helps he married the boss's daughter, but I think he would have made it eventually anyway. Being part of the clique didn't hurt. But yeah, man, ultimately, all bullshit aside, all joking aside, dude's a family man. He's got tons of money. I hope he does something that makes him happy and he stays healthy. And yeah, that's really all I got to say.
I'm not trying to be rude in any way. That's not sarcastic, or maybe it sounds sarcastic, but it's just kind of funny. The amount of outreach, you would have thought this guy passed away. Right? Like everybody's like, thank you so much. We're so sorry for everything you know. And I'm like, he's alive, he's well, man, and he's just saying that he can't wrestle anymore. And to be honest with you, go out on a better note. I don't need to see you be Flair or Hogan. Shit, please. You already tagged with your buddy Sean when he came out of retirement for a night. We all know how that went.
Yeah.
Just, it's funny because his last real televised match was a crown jewel event against Randy Orton. That was his last singles match. Cool. Good way to go out. I like that. His last match was an untelevised match where he tagged with, I think it was like Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode against, it was like a real weird thing, but it was at in Tokyo
that.
Or something.
Yeah, it was.
That's
it was in Tokyo. Yep, absolutely.
So, but hey, I'm all right with him going out this way. As long as he's healthy and okay, and from what it seems, he's back to day-to-day operations, so cool, good stuff.
There you go. All right, so we've got our Hall of Fame class for WWE finalized. We have Taker, we got Vader, we got Queen Sharmell. The Steiner brothers are going to go in. All right, it'd be cool to see them on TV, if nothing else. You know what they say? A lot of people are in the Hall of Fame, but not are equal.
When you take the 33% in the third that my brother and Rick and I have, here's the thing, though, is he allowed? All right, I'm going to hit a couple of random things, because before recording, Little John, as you remember, we referenced him, he and I were messaging today, and he goes, do you think he gets to do a math promo? First, he goes, who the hell thought it was a good idea to even give him a microphone? I'm like, oh, he's going to be heavily scripted and watched. He's not going to be, but this is also the same guy who was like, Stephanie's a cunt and Triple H is a piece of shit, bitch, cocksucker. Like, he's said some real shitty things about them. But that also just goes to show what this Hall of Fame is. Yep. First, induction, I think would be Braun, Rick's son. I think that would just be cool. I'm not sure if that's who it will be. But it was a TNA thing. Does he get to do the math equation or even hint at it? For the pop for the fans.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah. And personally, I know you're not going to like this, but the amount that they wrestle should be Booker. Or Booker and Stevie Ray.
No, believe it or not, I swear today I was like, all right, well, who were some of the biggest feuds that they had? Who would be a good person? I'm like, Sting could be a good person to induct him because of all the time in WCW or Luger. And then I go, man, Harlem Heat, Booker T, man. I'm like, they put in Harlem Heat as a team. It wouldn't be surprising if maybe both together did something. I'm kind of surprised that the Steiners are going in. It's funny, it was announced just like 5 days before WrestleMania, and it's like, who can we get at the last minute? Who needs $100, pal? So, but Shad Gaspard is going to be the recipient of the Warrior Award. Well deserved. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, Hellwig's probably rolling over.
I think everybody. Yeah, it was. Jeez, it was talked about last year that they wanted it, people wanted it, but this year they're finally getting it.
Absolutely.
So I think that's
it's
cool.
definitely well deserved. Yeah. All right. Well.
All right, man. Any positive news?
Any positive? Well, I don't know if it's positive or not, but we've got the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, as well as the TNA. I don't know.
17
how
other
Impact,
events. Yeah.
And we've got a lot of people that are pulling double duty, and obviously Tony Khan, owning Ring of Honor now, is saying that anybody who leaves that pay-per-view to get to the Impact one will regret it. Not sure what that means, but the Briscoes are one of those people that are pulling double duty.
But I did some digging. They're not going to... What he's saying is just to even beat the crowd or to beat and head out to other events. If I am not mistaken right now, SmackDown, Supercard of Honor, and Impact are all starting about 8 o'clock. The very worst is Ring of Honor starts at 9. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They're all running head-to-head-to-head. So I think he's just saying, not just because of the other events. All right, I posed this to you. I'm so glad that I remembered it, because this is why I got to stop texting shit to you on the side. Because then I tend to forget. I'm like, no, we talked about it. So this dude owns Ring of Honor. They have been showcasing and talking about the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame, which is Joe, Danielson, Punk, Briscoes, and Kerry Silkin as kind of an honorary member.
Right.
Anybody could show up at the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor pay-per-view this weekend, because Tony also owns, I don't want to say the word owns, Punk and Bryan Danielson, but you know what I'm saying. Like, they'll very easily could just go right on over. They did video packages for the final battle. Very easily they could show up. That's all I'm saying. And AEW is the only, besides Rampage, you know what I'm saying, which is taped Wednesday. AEW is the only promotion that's not running Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. You don't find that odd?
Well, I mean, the Rampage thing is just because it's how they do it. They don't run it on Friday. They run it on Wednesday, and they air it on Friday. But so it's still
sure. But what I'm
aired.
saying is everybody has a special event this weekend. Every promotion. Back when, I mean, even go back to 2016, 17. You know, pre-pandemic. Even 2019, when everybody was in New York, you had the MSG show with New Japan and Ring of Honor. Impact had something. You have Joey Janela's Spring Break. I mean, these are consistent shows that happen every year.
Yeah, I think he knows.
AEW didn't have anything, but they also just had Revolution. I'll give them that. That was kind of their big payoff of the year. But I'm just saying, I think there's possibilities with this Ring of Honor pay-per-view later.
Yeah, Tony Khan has already said he would never really run against WrestleMania. So yeah, I mean, I think that's his stance. But for him to do something big at the Hall of Fame, maybe, if Joe's going to be there, who knows what the hell could happen.
He also, and I don't even know if the Hall of Fame is actually happening, like this weekend. They didn't say anything about there's an induction ceremony. I just know this class is happening. But I did read another interview with Tony Khan, and he said that he will never, ever put on a bad pay-per-view. He understands the importance of pay-per-views. And that's his... Like, he didn't mean like he'll never put on a bad one. That wasn't his exact quote. Let me take that back. That was my wording. He said he aims to always put on a very fantastic pay-per-view. You look at WWE, they phone in a lot of their pay-per-views. They're not like, this is going to be the greatest Backlash event ever. His build and build and build. All I'm saying is Ring of Honor this weekend could be pretty tight. So I just think it could be pretty well done.
Yeah, let's hope for the best, man. We got at least one good match to look forward to. I mean, the
Now,
others,
and you mentioned, Briscoes are pulling double duty. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to get into all these cards. But, yeah, the Briscoes are doing 2 shows, and both of them are running the same time. I would actually, I'll tell you what, I will start presenting this part of the news. Do me a favor and get on your Google machine there and find out what time both of them are starting. I am pretty sure both are around 8 or 9. But 2 things that I thought were great this past weekend with New Japan. First, the New Japan Cup finally came to a close. Started with 64 men. It was one of their largest ones because they pretty much wanted to double down after everything that went on with the pandemic. They wanted to get everybody a chance in the singles tournament, and it was won in the finals by Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Naito, which was a good match. But even more so, the most important part, now we've talked about it before, Bullet Club kicked out Guerrillas of Destiny. And you know how I feel about Guerrillas. It's pretty much about how O.D.M. feels about Proud and Powerful. He knows that team. That's his team. He's behind them, and he made me a fan. God aligned themselves with Taguchi. And what's important about this storyline is they shake hands with him, align with him, and hug him. When Bullet Club was formed 9 years ago by Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, and Guerrillas of Destiny, well, mainly Tama Tonga at that time, it was Tama Tonga, Balor, and Bad Luck Fale. It was formed by Balor turning on Taguchi. And now here we are 9 years later, and God align themselves with the man that it all started with. I think that's a very, very compelling story. You have to know the story to understand that, though. That's not just put in the headlines, which I thought, if anybody didn't know that, that's why I'm putting that out there. I just think it's very cool that they're going all the way back to the very first man that was turned on to form the club. It's very cool. And what did you find out on Mr. Google?
So Ring of Honor starts at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Impact Multiverse of Matches starts at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so it is possible that the Briscoes are able to do both shows with no issues. I think that most likely the Briscoes are going to, looking at order of importance for both shows, I would say that the Briscoes and FTR will probably be like match 3, gives them time to get over to the other building, hang, and they'll probably be like second to last match before the main event or something like that for Impact, if I had to guess. Pulling double duty.
Do you imagine that? Working
Well,
a match like a match against
no,
FTR.
but it's, well, yeah, that's the thing. It's not even just like you're going and doing a squash match. You're going to go have a grueling ass-kicking match that you know that this Texas crowd is ready for. Everybody's been waiting for Briscoes and FTR for a long time. I'm not sure when I broke down my whole night at Dynamite if I told you there was a girl across from me that had a "We want FTR versus Dem Boys" sign, and I was like, "Yeah!" Like we kind of made eye contact and talked about it. This is going to be a huge match, so it's going to be a grueling match, and then they go on to fight the Good Brothers. That's whew. And it's funny. Like, can you imagine that? That's what they used to do back in the day, man. All the territory days, or not even territory, back when Vince would run the guys 300 days out of the year. Sometimes they would do a 2 p.m. matinee show and then an 8 o'clock show somewhere, and they would have to work it out where if you find these out when you start to read certain books like Flair or especially Bret Hart. He'd be like, I opened the night at one place and then I was in the main event at the other. Like, it's very interesting that's what's going on. Now, you would think that them pulling double duty, that's enough for them, right? No, not for the Briscoes. We'll get into that. I can't wait to go over these cards. It's going to be probably one of the biggest weekends in wrestling history. I really feel like that when it comes to WrestleMania history. Hey, any other news you got?
Well, I just wanted to touch on this story because I don't even know the details. But, like the People's Court's done, but there's Steve Harvey's court. It's basically the new People's Court. Some familiar
Steve
faces.
Harvey's. What? He took over Family Feud. Now he's taking over Judge Wapner's spot?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
You do what you got to do. At least he didn't take over Judge Judy's spot. But we had some familiar names on this show. Kevin Sullivan and J.J. Dillon.
I'll take two people on People's Court I never thought I would see for 1,000, O.D.M. Jeez.
An argument over
that made
payment
its
on
rounds last... What was it? Yeah, go ahead.
It was something about argument on payment on a boat.
Yo. I gotta find that episode. I gotta see if they even make reference that they were in the wrestling business together. You know what I mean? Like,
It's funny because you and I would think that they would just because of the names, but most people probably have no fucking clue who they are.
oh my god, they couldn't fight it out in the ring. They couldn't get to WrestleCon this weekend or anything.
You wouldn't want to see that.
You know what? You know what I would want to see though. You know, you may have already said at the beginning. You know, it's over. Let's not talk about it. But what would you rather see more? Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, or Chris Rock versus Will Smith? I've seen so many WrestleMania memes with them together. I'm like, it's just funny. No, all right. It is WrestleMania week. It is the greatest weekend in pro wrestling, and it's a huge weekend in Dallas, Texas this weekend. So you do have Ring of Honor, Supercards of Honor. You have NXT's Stand and Deliver, Impact's multiverse of matches, and a bunch of other promotions with MLW and a couple other ones. But I'm going to break down what we have here. First, this all kicks off tomorrow, Thursday, at 4 o'clock. In 4 o'clock Eastern, right? I mean, we're talking at night that if you get your way to Texas and you're ready to party and just watch a lot of wrestling, this is your weekend. And guys did this in New Orleans, and they go whatever the weekend is. That's what they all do. They hit up all the shows as much as they can. We may have to do this one of these times and just go hit up a bunch of these shows. But to kick it off, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 8. Now, I'm not going to read every match to every card, guys. I'm just going to read some of the big things that you're like, wow, because then people are going to be moving on and doing other shows. But Barnett's Bloodsport, Thursday, tomorrow night, 4 o'clock. Minoru Suzuki is going to be taking on Chris Dickinson. Barnett will be taking on Jonah, which was Bronson Reed. Moxley against Biff Busick. John Morrison, now John Hennigan, taking on Simon Gotch. Oh, yeah. Timothy Thatcher and John Kratos will take on each other. And then Zeta Zhang will take on Marina Shafir, which we know, her MMA background as well. It's already starting off with a huge, huge show. That's the first one of the weekend that actually gets things going. MLW will have a show Thursday night. It's the Intimidation Games where Alex Hammerstone, the MLW champion, will take on former champion Jacob Fatu and Mads Kruger. And then the man who his mentor was Dusty, that's right, Enzo, will have an open challenge. So someone's going to come out and lay him out. I mean, obviously, that's pretty much what any open challenge generally is. So Joey Janela, the prick that he is, not only has one, but two shows this weekend. He's got to be like WWE. All right, well, Joey Janela's Spring Break 6. Part 1 is Thursday night at 9 o'clock. The GCW Championship will be John Moxley. Again, he's already earlier in the night taking on Biff Busick. And now he's going to come in here for a GCW match, which, come on, GCW World Title match means death match, generally. And he's taking on AJ Gray. And this is where we get the feud that has been kind of building for quite some time in most of the GCW events. Joey Janela versus Sean Waltman. The crowd is going to fucking eat that up. They're going to fucking hate on Janela. And then there's a GCW tag team title match that has Nick Gage and Matt Tremont, the champions, versus Mance Warner and Matthew Justice versus the Briscoes. So they're not even waiting until Supercard of Honor. They're going to have something Thursday night. Kicking it off.
All right.
Late, now also that night, the CYN, Control Your Native. I know I said it right that time on purpose, but they have their show, The Awakening. It's all the same names that we've already been seeing. Adam Shearer, EC3. That's it. Just says they're going to be there. That's a show.
Hooray.
Dynamite marketing. Let's see how it pays off for them. Now we jump into Friday. Friday at 3 o'clock, MLW is going to have Azteca Underground, and Alex Hammerstone will face Cesar Duran in a no-holds-barred match, and then Jacob Fatu will face LA Park in an Azteca Apocalypto match. I don't know what the hell that means, but it sounds like it'd be good. This is where some things get pretty fun. At 6 o'clock Friday night, it will be New Japan Strong. I only wrote a couple of matches that made that were kind of headliners, and then just the other people who were on the card. If you haven't been paying attention to New Japan Strong, they have a YouTube channel. We're talking, the guys I'm about to list are mainly there every week, so it's a pretty good show. But the main matches are going to be Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Dickinson, Jay White against Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball, is he just coke guy?
No, not
anyway. Suzuki takes on Killer Cross. And others at the show will be Juice Robinson, David Finlay, Daniel Garcia, Rocky Romero, Ren Narita, who I told you I really like, was at Wrestle Kingdom and took on Shibata. Jonah, again, yeah, he'll be there. Tom Lawler, and Fred Rosser, who you may remember was Darren Young in WWE. So SmackDown on Friday night at 8 o'clock, we will be having the Intercontinental title match, which will be Ricochet taking on tag partners Angel and Humberto, so Ricochet will probably be retaining. And then, of course, the biggest thing that has to do with WrestleMania, right? Let's move it to SmackDown 2 years in a row. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It makes that match have absolutely nothing to do with WrestleMania now. Mm-hmm. I don't get why they don't just do it on the pre-show. What's the point? At least give those guys an opportunity to be in the fucking arena.
You got 2 nights anyway with nothing on it, so...
Thank you. You could do 2 different Battle Royals. The winners face on Monday Night Raw. Loser kisses Vince's ass.
There you go.
And then you have the Hall of Fame to follow, which will be on the network. So then, Ring of Honor starts at 8 o'clock, you've confirmed, and then Impact at 10. So at 8 o'clock, Ring of Honor will be kicking off. We have the ROH Women's Interim title. God damn it. What's the point of interim? Anyway, so a new champion will be crowned, where it's Willow Nightingale taking on Mercedes Martinez. I haven't seen Martinez win a match even in AEW, so I'm going to go ahead and say that Willow Nightingale is probably going to win this match. Swerve Strickland will be taking on Alex Zane. A pure championship match will be Josh Woods defending against AEW's Wheeler Yuta. Already a little bit of a hint with AEW being in this for the night. Jay Lethal, your second one, taking on Lee Moriarty. I don't think either of them work for anywhere other than AEW, so that's an AEW showcase match. A match we've already talked about. This I would have rather been the main event match, but apparently it's not going to be if they have to pull double duty. Ring of Honor tag titles, Briscoes versus FTR. And then in your Ring of Honor world title winner takes all match, you have Jonathan Gresham defending his championship against Bandito, who technically still has a Ring of Honor championship that he never lost. Grisham's carrying around the old school looking belt, and Bandito's taking around it's kind of like the mix between the Impact World Championship and what is the World Heavyweight Championship from NWA. And I don't like it. Now, the Impact multiverse of matches, I gotta be honest, I had no want to see this at first, but I'm kind of in. The matches, almost every one of them, I'm in for. Again, remember some of these names I've already said a billion times already, that they're already in other events. They're on these too. So one that's going to be a fun one, a couples war, will be Mickie James tagging with her husband, Nick Aldis, taking on Matt Cardona and his wife, Chelsea Green. That's going to be a fun shit show. I don't even care. That's going to be fun to watch. Jonah making his third appearance, I think, already for the weekend. I should have had you tallying some of this up.
Yeah, right.
And Josh Alexander will take on Moose and PCO. Mike Bailey, Speedball Mike Bailey, will take on Alex Shelley of Motor City Machine Guns. There's a guy named Bailey. No, never mind. I'm reading it backwards. Never mind. Here we go. There's an Ultimate X match, and it's going to be for the X Division Championship as Trey Miguel defends against Willie Mack, Mike Bailey, Rich Swann, Vincent. And no, we're not talking about Vincent of NWO. We're talking about Vincent of Ring of Honor, dread hair, White Vincent. I'm just, being a little more specific. We're not going to get an out-of-retirement match from
Thank
Virgil.
God.
I probably would have marked out for that. But, and the other participant in this match, thick thighs herself, Jordan Grace. And speaking of, you have an Impact Knockouts title match where Deonna Purrazzo, she's been on like a winning streak for a solid year. Ever since NXT let her go and she went to Impact, she's had the championship and she hasn't lost. Well, she's taking on a mystery opponent who's going to maybe take that from her. This whole point is called multiverse of matches. They're taking people from other promotions. You have guys who were originally in Ring of Honor. You have Impact. You even have a sprinkle of AEW in here. So and New Japan even more, because Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Edwards. Like, Eddie's no slouch on it being strong style, so that's going to be a banger of a match. Chris Sabin, the other guy who's in Motor City Machine Guns, will take on Jay White. And what appears to be your main event title match is Impact Champion or Tag Team Championships will be the Good Brothers defending against the Briscoes. So the Briscoes, do they win the Tag Team Championships at GCW? Keep Ring of Honor and win Impact? Do they drop Ring of Honor? They're already at their third match in 2 days. Good for them. What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. It's tough because I think ultimately it's going to be insight into what their future is, right? Because if they, it's not because AEW's wrestlers are into holding multiple championships. We've had a couple already who are holding titles across brands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if they lose them all, it kind of, you know what I mean? I think what happens is going to, you know what? I take that back. I have no fucking clue. They'll probably just win them all.
I kind of want them to have a clean sweep on the weekend, man. Just take it all. Have you seen the picture that's made its rounds recently of the Briscoes backstage recently with a person in drag?
I have not.
It made its rounds recently, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's about as equally as cringy as Michael Scott kissing Oscar." Being like, "Let me show you how okay with everything I am."
Oh boy. Okay.
Joey Janela's back for part 2 because at 1 a.m. on a Friday night, what else are you doing? Why don't you watch a shit show of a wrestling night? Because Speedball Mike Bailey will be taking on PCO. Tony Deppen, who used to be in Ring of Honor, will be taking on Biff Busick. Biff is on his third match, I think, of the weekend as well. Suzuki, again on his third, will be taking on Effie. Effie's someone I talked about recently as well. Matt Cardona, who earlier in the night will be tagging with Chelsea Green. He'll be taking on Chris Dickinson, who will be accompanied by Missy Hyatt. Okay.
Yeah, right.
But your main event, I'll let you read this one because I thought you'd actually appreciate the name of this one. Considering this event starting at 1 a.m., what's the main event called?
The Greatest Clusterfuck Battle Royal. I wasn't sure if that's the actual name or if you just put that in there.
No, that's actually real. I found that on 2 different websites. I actually had to double check and work on that. Now, I got to be honest. I thought it was really cool to see all these different cards, all these guys pulling double, triple, quadruple duty. I started looking at Stand and Deliver, and I go, I don't know anyone, man. Look at your NXT title match is going to be Dolph Ziggler defending his championship against Braun Breaker. And then there's other matches with other guys that are in a brand that isn't even a shell of its former self. It's now dubbed 2.0, and it's pink. So, on the way to WrestleMania itself. It's live, and it's premium. And it's going to be stupendous. But my guess is that next week when we record, we're going to get to use that stupid bumper more than we are stupendous. All right, man, break down what's Saturday, what's Sunday, and as you go along, give me your prediction. I'll bounce right off.
All right. So, I'm sure this will change. The order will change based on how I read it, but that's fine. We'll just read it in the order that it is.
Oh, I didn't know the order of this
Yeah,
at
nobody
all.
knows,
This
yeah.
is more.
Yep.
This is they no one. Yeah, coming into WrestleMania, you generally don't know much of the order.
Yeah. So we got the SmackDown Women's title. It's Charlotte Flair defending against Ronda Rousey. They've gone through a lot of work to bring Rousey back. I don't think it's as impactful as it was the first time around. But I'm going to go ahead and say Rousey's going to get the win on this one.
I think she makes Flair tap.
Think so? Yeah, that could be.
I think it would be more meaningful, at least, if I was doing storyline and looking to make Ronda come back as a major threat. She never lost that championship, man. Her shoulders were up, and then come back and defeat the Queen on the biggest stage of them all by making her tap. Flair made Asuka tap, and we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We thought Asuka was taking the championship. Are you shitting me? So, and then she made Rhea Ripley tap.
Yeah, so then
in
again,
an empty arena.
Maybe Flair will win. Who the fuck knows?
Oh, Jesus. No, I'm putting the hope into Ronda on this one.
There you go. Well, we'll go on to the next women's title. It'll be the Raw Women's title. Becky Lynch defending against Bianca Belair. There was rumors that Belair was actually injured, so I don't know. I kind of liked your idea where she kind of returns the favor, comes out and beats Lynch flat in like 5 seconds. It's stupid, but I wouldn't put it past them, so I'm going to give this one to Belair.
On a very loaded show, if that's the route they take, it would be the absolute smartest option. It's kind of the Sheamus Daniel Bryan route, which I'll get into in a second, but let me finish this thought first. If it is a regular match and Belair is there and she's able to wrestle, I actually think the man retains. I actually think that
Fair enough.
Lynch will retain to a big thing of booze. But if it's a quick match, Belair takes it.
Yep.
People get mad about the fact that, certain matches are, like Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. But, I spent a lot of time over the last week or so just watching some old school WrestleManias, and there was a lot of matches that were like 4, 5, 6 minutes, you know what I mean? And they got things squeezed in, and they did have a lot of stupid performances and celebrity appearances. I tend to shit on it more nowadays, and I'm like, oh my god, another one of these things. I'm like, but no, it's pretty much how it's always been, man. It's a spectacle of a night. So what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if a match ends real quick. But remember what happened last year? Night 1 started off with a rain delay. And I felt like it was an omen to the entire night. I felt like Night 1 never really got off the ground running. Night 2 I felt a bit better, but I didn't even care for WrestleMania at all last year, other than Cesaro and Rollins.
Yeah, I'm not going to be tuning into too much for this except for something later, which we'll get into when we get there. Next, we get the Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul. I'm going with the Mysterios on this one.
Oh, this match is what you're tuning into.
Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm cracking this beer.
Do you think Logan Paul comes to the ring wearing Mysterio's mask?
I hope he gets a concussion and is in a vegetative state for the rest of his life. Was that too much?
I did not expect it.
Was that too much? Did I go over the top on that one? Should I take it back?
A vegetarian? No, I think it was actually pretty descriptive. I think I actually envisioned what you meant. I just imagined him laying
Logan Paul should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Do you want a cookie?
All right, what else is on this card?
New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. New Day win. Avenge Big E. Get a big pop.
I'm not going to be happy until they name Ridge Holland Luke. So that when Pete Dunne is at ringside as Butch, Sheamus has Butch and Luke with him again.
Oh, Jesus.
Problem is, you can't go around licking people's heads the way you used to.
Yeah,
Goddamn shame.
Yeah, goddamn pandemic. Next, we get Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Drew McIntyre. Next.
Oh, this will be a 3-minute match.
Oh, God, it better not be. I used to stick up for Happy Corbin. Now that I know that he's just a fucking company man who will do whatever the fucking boss tells him to do. Next thing you know, he's going to come out with pigtails and a big lollipop. Next, we get the Smack...
Boom, boom, boom. Yo, I'm telling you, that'll be a quick 3-minute match. And you know what? Well deserved for him
30-minute match.
taking out Oh, God, no. No. This will be a quick minute match. And it'd be great to have him, McIntyre, get the win because, A, he lost last year to Lashley, and B, Corbin beat Angle.
Yeah.
It was the stupidest thing ever at WrestleMania, so I'd rather this.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Next, we get the SmackDown tag titles being defended. The Usos defending against Nakamura and Rick Boogs. What a goddamn shame. Usos retain.
They both wear white pants. I mean, that's cool.
The only thing that I'm going to tune in for are the next two. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Usos.
Oh, okay.
Only because I have them in the draft as well.
I got the Mysterio, so they better be Miz and Logan Paul. Fucking douchebag. Next two things, the last two things for night one are the only things that I really care about that I'll tune in for. One is Seth Rollins versus mystery opponent, and the little promo that they did on their YouTube channel, WWE's, kind of lines up with what we were expecting. Seth Rollins is going to go to WrestleMania, and he'll know his opponent once he's in the ring, and here's his name announced. Now,
I have an issue with that.
Okay.
They released that stupid video on YouTube at like 4 o'clock. And I sent it to you and Nightwing, and I go, well, no need to watch Raw tonight. And from what I read, they showed it in its entirety. They go, and today we're going to show you what happened with Seth Rollins at headquarters. Do you legitimately just do not give a fuck about your ratings? That's the only thing people were tuning in for. No one cared about anything else. No one was going to be excited about your main event, which I'm not sure if you looked. It was Usos versus RK Bro. Yay. That does not get me excited for WrestleMania. You could have had that ending with the video of Vince and Seth. And Seth played awesome in that video. Let me guess. I'm fired. No, let me guess. No. Let me guess. I think his Joker routine, although annoying, he does a good job at. I'm kind of liking. Yeah, you're gonna hate on that one, I'm sure. But you literally put it out at 4 o'clock on your YouTube channel, and people are like, "Well, now I don't have to watch Raw."
Pretty much. So,
all right, we will get into our guesses of who in a moment. But the main event, we'll just quickly say, is the Kevin Owens show. That's what's closing Saturday night of WrestleMania, which is Steve Austin appearing. Steve Austin gets a stunner. Duh. Obviously, you're going to send people home happy. There's no way that Owens gets the stunner and it goes. Actually, what would be phenomenal is if he does the stunner and it's just, doesn't matter. Your stunner is not as good as Austin's. Austin just pops right back up and no-sells it and gives him one of his own. That's what I'm calling. All right, Seth Rollins versus question marks. Is it the obvious Cody?
Probably, yeah.
Does he use the AEW theme? Because you need to pop.
Yep. The reports are that a lot of WWE execs are pushing for the presentation of Cody to be 100% what it was in AEW. Which makes sense.
A douchebag? Oh,
dude, what happens? What happens when he comes out and gets booed to hell? He's gonna be all smiles.
So speaking of booing things to hell, what if it's Shane McMahon?
That would be fucking hilarious. That would be fucking hilarious. You know, I posted
Elias.
Yeah.
All right. What about this one? I'll give this one to Little John. Gabe Stevenson.
He
comes in, squashes in 1 minute.
Yeah, he is rumored to be there. That would make sense. I think that's your close number 2.
And one more send-off for Undertaker in Dallas, Texas. Comes in and, lights go out. Boom. He is under the ring, ready to go.
Didn't I already say that?
Boom.
Didn't I say that a few weeks ago?
Did you?
I think so.
You might have.
Yeah.
Shit, you did, and I said I didn't want it. Yeah.
There's one more. There's one
these
more.
These are just options.
There is one more that you didn't put on here. Hornswoggle.
Do you really think it would be Hornswoggle?
It's as good as it gets, man.
Night 2!
Night 2, we get title versus title, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, it is what it is. Listen, the way they've built it, I'll watch it for two of the biggest marquee wrestlers in the world right now, and Paul Heyman, who's got to be one of the best promos ever, wrestler or not.
And come on, man. They did 31. Lesnar beat the piss out of Roman until Rollins cashed in. 34. He had to bust Reigns open the hard way to even get people happy for a second, and that's when he threw the title at McMahon. And now their third bout at WrestleMania. You know, this could I'm not saying rival your Rock and Austin. It's just your newer generation version of it, and it's two major powerhouses. I'm actually excited to see this match.
Mm-hmm.
How I think it goes down? I think Reigns opens Lesnar the hard way this time with his elbows and goes MMA style. He takes the gloves off the way Lesnar would because he is the heel. Lesnar's total face in this, and it's a reverse of WrestleMania 34.
I don't know, man. I know I've seen articles where Lesnar says he doesn't like getting hit, so I don't know if he'd be open for that, but I like where your head's at. I think that's a good twist.
You literally bust open Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, two guaranteed Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you the will. You can't take one on the head for WrestleMania 1?
Well, I'm not here to debate that he can or can't. I'm just saying I don't know that he would. Doesn't strike me as the type of person.
How about this?
Fuck no, you're not.
We'll even let you do a. We'll let you do a little cut on your head ahead of time. How about that? And you could we'll let you have a shot of whiskey and take a bunch of Advil so you bleed nice and easy. It's nice and easy. You'll be right out there.
Christ. All right.
Just an idea. All right, let's get on with the rest of this.
Edge versus AJ Styles. Listen, on paper, it sounds like I got a dream match. There's nothing for me to want to watch it other than it's those two guys. There's nothing behind
That's
it.
just it. I think that they're going the wrong route with Edge trying to be heel. I'm not on board. It's not selling me, and these promos and stuff. It's great. I love heel Edge. I will never ever say boo to it.
Absolutely.
But to promote this match, if you had started all the way back at SummerSlam and he fucked AJ over for the title and stuff like that, and this has been an ongoing thing, and he's been heel for a while, but you turned him heel strictly for this feud, and it seems like it's out of nowhere. You should have just let it be the dream match that it was, and they try to one-up each other each week heading into it. The match itself is going to be good, but I think the on paper is going to be better than the match. I think this is going to be your AJ Nakamura. Remember WrestleMania 34, how disappointed people were?
Letdown.
I think that's what we're about to get right here.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Next, we get Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. I like Austin Theory. I think he's got a lot of promise. I don't like that he's McMahon's stooge right now, pretty much. That's how he's been kind of booked. And I like Pat McAfee's, personality as far as in the wrestling context. Outside of the wrestling world, I think he's kind of a douche. But
yeah.
He had a great match with Adam Cole. It'd be interesting to see what kind of match he's going to have against Austin Theory, who, as much of a rookie as he may be in the grand scheme of things, definitely seems to have some good footing when it comes to in-ring work. So,
is it a regular match or is it a no DQ match? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I want to say it's no DQ, but yeah, we'll see.
Because he was in War Games, he could take some hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm most excited about? I bet you he has a badass entrance at WrestleMania. He's an over-the-top, fun announcer. I can imagine him doing something great. I think McAfee goes over in this match.
You think so? That would make sense.
Yeah, and you said it sucks that Austin Theory is McMahon's stooge. Let me say something. There are worse things to be. If you were told now that you are going to be McMahon's stooge on TV weekly, fuck yeah. It's people they're like, oh, I can't believe Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens re-signed with WWE. Sami Zayn put it best. I'm highlighted weekly on TV. A lot. I have segments all the time. I have nothing to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Same with Kevin. So, same to Austin Theory. You're on TV every week. You can't boo it. Just playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to be as nice as I can about WWE, considering it's WrestleMania week. I'm sure by fucking Sunday afternoon or mid pay-per-view, I'm gonna be like, God damn this company.
He's gonna be sprawled out on the floor with an empty bottle of Jack Daniels next to him and a gun that he hasn't got quite loaded yet.
In the fetal position. I don't want any more. I don't want any more.
Next, we get Bobby Lashley versus Omos. I don't care. I really like Bobby Lashley. Maybe this is hopefully he doesn't blow out his shoulder again.
I think Omos is gonna win. It'll be a back and forth match.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'd like to see Bobby, since it's his first match back, come back and win. Also because I have him in the draft, but I think Omos is gonna win. I mean, just beat fucking War Machine. I'm not gonna call him Viking Raiders anymore. He just beat War Machine 2-on-1. So I think he's got Bobby pretty well in handled.
There you go. Next, we get the Raw Tag titles. RK Bro versus Alpha Academy versus Street Profits. I don't understand RK Bro losing the titles to Alpha Academy, winning them back like 2 weeks later. Private Profits, I could care less about. I'm going to go ahead and say RK Bro retain.
I think they do as well. It's weird because we've all been waiting. When's the turn? And Orton said this is kind of the most fun he's had in a long time wrestling.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
And it's
that
weird.
Makes me happy.
Same, and that's the thing. Is kind of like when I'm watching on some of the clips I've caught. He looks happy. It's a genuine, real happy, and it doesn't look like he's faking and phoning it in. The Fiend, he's coming off of that shit from a whole year of setting someone on fire and burning himself, all that with Alexa. Now he's tagging. It's kind of Sting and Darby. He's in a good place. He's mentoring as well as wrestling.
Lesnar. Look at Lesnar.
Totally.
The happy cowboy, just giving high fives to kids. Come on.
It's funny. It's like people
happy.
are like, it's funny because I saw a meme and it's like, everybody's saying, oh man, it's 2022 and the pandemic is still going. It's still a shitty year. Yo, how upset could you be? Look at Brock Lesnar. Look how fucking happy he is right now. That's a different place in this world. That should make you happy.
It does.
The only way I see anything good coming of this is if Riddle takes the pin and we get a turn at the end of it with Orton. But what I'd rather see is them Orton takes the pin and Riddle turns on him. I think that would just be fantastic.
You know what? Oh God, I hate that I'm gonna say this, but it makes so much sense.
Bro.
Alpha Academy is Otis and
Gable.
Chad.
Yeah, which now that you have Gabe Stevenson coming in, I think he's just going to be Chad.
Well,
Chad and Otis.
What if and Gable was a collegiate wrestler, an Olympic wrestler? What if Otis gets jumped before the match and Gable comes in and takes his place and they win the titles? I don't want it to happen, but I wouldn't put it past him.
So Gable and Gable?
Gable and Gable. G squared.
Ready, willing, and Gable.
Oh, God.
You can bring that old motto back that they used to have for American Alpha.
Forget I ever said
it. All right, on to the next one.
Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. Speaking of things that forget I said it. I'm going to give it to Johnny Knoxville.
Hey, it is going to be Knoxville. I think this will actually be kind of funny because I think it's going to be it is no DQ. It's an anything goes match, but I think it's going to be of jackass quality. I think they're going to go backstage and you're going to get some zany ass shit like a big hand that you run into. You know what I mean? That'll have things going. You may get a Steve-O and Wee Man. You may get those guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see the clip back from, I don't remember what pay-per-view it was at. I think it was the Royal Rumble weekend when Knoxville was there. The clip of Lesnar choke slamming Wee Man through a table in like the hotel lobby.
Yeah. Yep. And it's funny because I saw that Steve-O wasn't there during that night at the pay-per-view, and he should have been. And there were reports. First, people were like, well, because people drink backstage. Like the guy, he's fucking like multiple years sober. You know, he can be around that shit. That wasn't it. He tested positive for COVID before getting into the arena, and he had to go. They were like, sorry, man, it's just policy for the wrestlers, and he's like, I got to go, man. So he had to go chill back at the hotel. But I could see all these guys showing up at WrestleMania. I think it'll be a fun match. Probably. Believe it or not, I actually think I'm going to find myself smiling during that match.
Chicken nuggets help.
Oh, no. I didn't say they weren't going to be there.
Well, this is honestly the reason that I'm going to watch night 2. Because I think it has.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot.
Nobody gives a shit about this, the women's tag team match, and it's not because it's the women's tag titles. It's because there's like 14 teams in it. You have Queen Zelina and Carmella defending. Again, I don't know why they're the women's tag champs, but that's fine. For Sasha Banks and Naomi, I like that tag. I think they should take the titles, and I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to take it. Now, personally, I think what my favorite team is Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Out of left field, doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think it's got potential. Pissed off they're putting Rhea Ripley with a tag team partner. She should be a single star. She should be champ. And also in the mix, you got Shayna Baszler and Natalya. Again, odd pairing, makes no sense. If Natalya's on a team, they're not winning.
So last year they did the same exact thing. They had a fatal 4-way tag match, and it was Natalya and Tamina that came out with the championships. Or I think, no, they didn't. They actually won it like a week later. But I think it will be, the winners will be Banks and Naomi or Morgan and Ripley, just as you said, in that exact order. And I'm good with it because I got Naomi and I got Liv Morgan when it comes to our draft.
Oh, there
but
you go. Nice.
If I had to choose which team I like just off of Professor's personal loving picks, Morgan and Ripley. Because
Yeah.
So let me tell you something, man. I'm just going to move on from there before I get too excited. You ever see the way Rhea pins? All right. So, look at, man, if I had to do this, I kind of thought about this to myself, and this is just my own personal take. I just want to throw this out there. We didn't need 2 nights at WrestleMania. We really did not need 2 nights. You could have packed everybody into one night at that stadium and made it probably one of your greatest WrestleManias if you combined shit and dropped shit. So dropping shit like that women's tag team title match would have been an option right there for me. But I'm going to run down. This is honestly what I think would have been the better card. You have 3 pre-show matches. You always have 2 hours, right, of bullshit pre-show matches. Both Rumbles, the women's and the Andre. And right there is where you do the Usos, Nakamura, and Boogs. That doesn't even belong on the main show. There's no, like you said, you're like, it's just there. So then your main card, you would have no particular order, minus what closes the show, but you would have Charlotte versus Ronda. You have Edge and AJ. Raw tag titles, I would just take the Street Profits out. I don't give a shit about them. I think go back with Alpha and RK Bro, and it's kind of their rubber match.
Finale.
And this is where you have that, and that's where you have some of the big swerves we could have that we're talking about. Either someone turns or Gable and Gable. You still do Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Raw Women's title with Lynch and Belair. Actually, I take this back. This is in absolute order. I did this on purpose this way. Because you needed your right bathroom breaks. Lynch and Belair. You do Sami Zayn and Knoxville. You do your KO show with Owens and Austin. Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul. And then your title versus title, Reigns and Lesnar. I think that you could have done very well without even promoting Cody. Rollins could have been tossed into anything. I would have been fine with it. Or if that's just a segment in itself. Right there, that could have been a perfect 4.5 hour pay-per-view, as they normally push for 5 anyway when it comes to it. Plus their 2 hour thing. I'm just saying you didn't need 2 nights. You're wasting people's time. You really are. And money.
Get used to it.
As good as it gets. All right, man. Do you want to run down what happened in AEW, or is it a kind of a moot point this week?
Yeah, I mean, there's really not too much to be talking about here. MJF.
We'll just say this: the biggest thing, man. We finally got a name for Moxley and Danielson. They are the Blackpool Combat Club. Thoughts?
Listen, I'm very conflicted about this. I get Blackpool because it's where Regal's from, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Moxley,
That's where it ends.
Here's the thing, yeah, it's good for Moxley because as much as I like his persona, I've never been a fan of his wrestling. But for Bryan, man, he was on a tear since he came to AEW. Now you're going to put him in a tag team? I feel like you could do so much more with him as a single. But I like all three guys, so seeing them together, it's like, okay, I'll take it. I mean, the Combat Club, it just doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't sound menacing. You know what I mean?
I still would have loved War Games. Yeah, I felt like the show was kind of meh. The one thing that was kind of great is that Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti revealed to Dan Lambert that they basically pulled a Brad Maddox onto Paige and her title with the TNT Championship.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't write this shit. They did. We did have Hardy's, Darby, and Sting tagging up as well, which was just a cool moment. But tonight, we have the Owen Cup kicking off. And Tony Khan said people have to qualify to get into this tournament. And it's going to be people from around the world. It's not just AEW. Because tonight, it's the Bunny. Because when I think the Owen Cup for the women's tournament, the first match that's going to kick off, the first person I think of is the Bunny. We're already off to a bad start, Tony. I'm sorry. I just throwing that out there. But against question marks for a woman. Well, yes, I understand that. But the woman is a question marks. Man, could this be the time Tessa Blanchard maybe comes in or something like that? I'm just...
You know who I think it is?
Then I don't know who it's going to be.
Jordan Grace.
Ooh. I could be okay with that.
Especially if she's wearing
You know what else I would be okay with? All right, how about this? How about this? He has said from around the world, if Cody is going over to WWE, and that's a sure thing, right? We have not seen Asuka on TV in quite some time. What if she goes and runs the Owen Cup?
I think that it would be bigger news by now if her contract had lapsed and she wasn't with him anymore.
I just want to see her. Asuka! Yeah, she was the best part about like the entire pandemic. Everything they had going on was just her. That's all. She was hysterical.
Asuka's the greatest.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, before we dive into WrestleMania, let's set some things up at the table. What do you have?
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
I'll do it for you. Boo! Shitty transition!
You've done better. You've done worse. That wasn't boo-worthy.
All right, man. I'll make mine short and sweet. This entire week has been nothing but kayfabe commentaries, watching Scott Hall U-shoots, man. Just him talking. I mean, you got your obvious fun stuff that's in there that you hear him talk about, but there's some just great stories, ribbing. I even accidentally came across the one that, wow, poor choice of words, but where he goes, oh, I would definitely eat Paige. Yeah, I would definitely eat out Paige. Like, that just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, shit, wow.
Hopefully he takes a toothpick out of his mouth first.
She'll be fine. But one of the funniest ones was him responding to a thing that Kevin Nash said. So they had a pack of 100 Somas, and it was him, Michaels, and Nash. The three of them all split them. But when you have 33, 33, and 33, there's an extra. Hall took the extra, and he got extra fucked up compared to everybody else. And Nash goes, that's... Hall attributes it and says it's because I had that extra pill. And it cuts back over to Hall, and you know how they show you the old video on kayfabe commentary, and Hall goes, I mean, that's medical science facts. I mean, yeah, I stand by that answer. One extra one did do that to me. I fucking busted out laughing. Oh my God, just so many great stories. So if you have some time and you just want to watch some old school Scott Hall stories, it'll lead you into some great Outsiders commentaries as well. Just, I went down a rabbit hole last week, some good shit. But that one just stood out to me, and he goes, well, Nash is wrong. I'm right. One extra pill could do it to you. But it's like 33 Somas versus one Soma, and he's like, You must have been taking something else. No, it was that one pill. All right, what are you bringing to the table?
Well, it's funny because you mentioned kayfabe commentary. I'm going to talk about the return of kayfabe, possibly. So there's the whole MJF Wardlow storyline, right? So the latest that happened on Dynamite was that, Wardlow doesn't have a contract with AEW. He has a contract with MJF. And MJF says, you know what? Go home because you're on the shelf for the rest of the year. So much to the point where Wardlow has been removed from AEW's roster. And a lot of these rinky-dink, I don't want to say rinky-dink, but, not your observers, what you think of them aside, not your PW insiders, not
KayfabeNews.com,
right, are all like, putting out these headlines. Wardlow removed from AEW roster page. Okay, I get it. You're trying to get clicks, but seriously, come on. This is obviously... He's not getting... He's still part of the roster. It's part of the fucking storyline to work, you idiots.
Exactly.
Then there's MJF's interviews where he's saying, I love WWE's product. I think Bruce Pritchard's a genius. Did you see that makeout contest they had on NXT? Did you know they had a makeout contest on NXT? Legit, they had a makeout contest with Dexter Lumis and some other people. Yeah, that's a real thing that happened. MJF talking about how he loved
Did
that.
you notice the only match I mentioned for WrestleMania weekend for NXT was the title match? That just says it all. They're having a fucking makeout competition. They're playing Spin the Bottle on 2.0 over there.
So MJF's going on, oh, I love it. I think they do great stuff. And then there's another thing where there's stories coming about how MJF won't sign a new AEW contract until he's towards the end of his contract. Now he said
it's the bidding war of 2024. He keeps mentioning.
Yep. And then there's another story out about how Tony Khan and him got into an argument because he did an interview without telling anybody. MJF is working everybody so hard that kayfabe has come back. It's not to say that MJF doesn't believe a lot of the things that he's saying. Listen, the best wrestlers, the best personas are the ones that stay true to themselves. And they just put a little something extra on top of it. So it's certainly possible that him saying he loved the makeout session and thinks Bruce Pritchard's a genius, he might actually feel that way. Who the hell knows? But he is working everybody so hard that kayfabe is like just come back instantaneously and adapted to today's environment. I just find it interesting. Don't work yourself
First, he's making his stock rise as a person.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because as a real bidding war 2024, he is now touting about WWE and Bruce Pritchard. He's mentioned Pritchard on Dynamite, right? And he goes, I'll even give him a call.
Oh, that's right.
So, he is putting himself in one hell of a position. Because even if he does go to WWE, again, smart man.
Yep.
Look, do I want to see you over there? No. But again,
I'll watch.
If you're going there, there must be something that you're happy with. Money is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, 1,000%.
But if you're going to do this right, if you were a fan of old school kayfabe the world, be that man. Mm-hmm. Say things that people don't like. Yeah, I fucking loved the makeout contest. Said no one other than MJF. Excellent work. You're right. Kayfabing at its best. I'm on board. I like it. That's I'm a major fan when kayfabe can be done well. When I would absolutely have loved to have been kayfabed with Punk just randomly coming out of nowhere, but you had to have the dirt sheets, the internet. You had to have people talking. There's a lot of things.
Yep.
There's already talk of Cody. So his return, although, it'll be a great thing for 1 second, would you count it as one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time? No. I would take the Hardys' kayfabe comeback at 33 above this Cody thing no matter what. Because as soon as I hear wrestling has more than one royal family, I'm going to be like, yeah, exactly. Bitch. Same thing,
all
different
right,
station.
Up,
I'm
click.
still gonna boo you. Yeah, still gonna boo you.
Yeah.
But kayfabe at its finest can be fun to watch. And when kayfabe was really at its finest, when you couldn't tell if someone was really upset or not, like Bret Hart in 1997.
Marty, you've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
Wait a minute, Doc. What are you talking about? What happens to us in the future? What, do we become assholes or something?
Give me a hell yeah. I'm asking you, I need you. I need you. Yeah, USA. You're talking about a country that's based its entire history on brother against brother. They got talk shows all over this country of families airing out their family problems because they all hate each other. And that's what they've done. They've taken our family and turned us into a bunch of haters. They've turned you against me. We fought like two men in Wembley Stadium. And after you won, I hugged you. We came back to America. They turned us against each other. And listen to you and me. Look what they've done to you and me. I was the one that got you to the World Wrestling Federation. Yeah, you laugh.
It's making sense, McMahon.
They've pushed you and they push you and they push you. They pushed me, they pushed us against each other. And they've driven this wedge between the whole family. I've known you since you're a baby. I dressed you for school every day. I was the one that made sure you made the school bus. Remember St. Michael's School and that teacher was picking on you? I was only 13 years old. I went to that school and I set the teacher straight. Owen, Davey, I'm asking you for your help because I need you. Owen, I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. And I don't care about these people, not anymore. Owen, I love you. I love you.
Owen Hart is overwhelmed. He's crying, man. Bulldog is overwhelmed.
And he gets on base, 1 for 2 in his transitions today. All right, that wasn't a bad one. All right, let's break down the Monday Night Wars, man. This week, as you already got to hear in the sound clip opener there, I love you, Owen. I'm the one that had to go to that teacher who was picking on you. You remember? Oh, my God. Owen deserved a motherfucking Oscar for this. It was amazing.
Daytime Emmy.
Not really an Oscar. Well, daytime. Well, I mean, if the Oscars are the way they are now, I mean, shit, he may have gotten one back then. Anyway, so let's talk about it, man. What happened 1997 for Raw and Nitro? It was, well, March 31st. That's right, end of March.
There we
Which
go.
is funny because normally you're on the way to a WrestleMania nowadays, but this one, they already had it back in March. So it's over, and we're on to bigger and better things, which is one of my favorite nights. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Here we go. We get a recap of Brett turning on the crowd to start the show, and we open up with Owen versus Bulldog for the European title. Owen jumpstarts the match before Bulldog even gets in the ring. There was a low blow and no DQ. Hebner was looking right at him. We get a false 3 count as Bulldog's foot was on the rope. They call it back. Bulldog locks in the sharpshooter, but Owen, knowing that move very well, is able to reverse it in about half a second. Little things. I like things like that. We get a ref bump. Owen hits a spin heel kick, gets the chair, but Bulldog's able to counter, clotheslines Owen onto the chair, grabs the chair, and that's when Brett runs in, trips up Bulldog, takes the chair, kind of holds it to his throat to kind of keep him in place, and then it just spends the next 3 minutes separating the two of them. Gets on the mic, says, "Can't you see that's what these people want?" Cuts a promo, basically talking about how, Bulldog, when him and Bulldog fought in Wembley Stadium. Wembley, yep. After Bulldog won, Brett, they shook hands, they hugged in the middle of the ring, and basically he just reunites the Hart Foundation. Cuts the Big Brother promo on Owen, like you were talking about. Owen's lip starts quivering, saying, Brett says Americans don't understand family. It's great because Brett says, "I love you, Owen." They hug, Owen cries, and the crowd booze. That's what.
But oh my God, the way it's sold, and then Brett gives that little snarl look to the crowd, like,
yeah.
fuck you guys, it doesn't matter. You don't know what's going to happen right now. We are taking over. I got family with me, man. Yep. It's Vin Diesel in his finest.
Jesus Christ. There you go. Vin Diesel before it was Vin Diesel. Best part was afterwards, Lawler's crying on commentary so much. So
oh, my God. It was fantastic. And he's hated Brett for years, calls him on all of his shit, and now here he's like, oh, this is so good.
I think wasn't Lawler feuding with Hart when we started doing this?
I mean, he's always been feuding with him. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, their feud goes all the way back to '93. But yeah, they did have a little bit when he first got started. Yeah.
Yeah. So next we get Sonny to commentary for the match of El Mosco versus Supernova. It's a good match for Sonny to be on commentary because nobody's paying attention anyway. At one point, Sonny goes over to the Spanish announce table. One Spanish, un besito, un besito, un besito. And she's like, what? And he starts pointing at his cheek. She's like, oh, you want me to give you a kiss? And she's like, oh, hell no. One of the guys wanted
nowadays, that's just 25 cents on her page.
Yeah, right. Probably more now for the bill hearing. But, yeah, afterwards, she goes back to the regular commentary desk, and Lawler's still crying. And what can I do to make you feel better? Oh, maybe if I was just held. And she naturally hugs King, and he didn't perv the dish too much. Yeah, he behaved himself, so. Next, we get Legion of Doom in ring with JR for a promo about their tag team match with Owen and Bulldog at In Your House in Rochester, New York. And at the end, Hawk, at the end, McMahon goes, sounds like Hawk's been gargling with razor blades again. I like that line. Thought it was good. Next,
nice choice of words, Vince.
Yeah. Next, we get one of my favorite parts of the night. We get Jesse James versus Jobber. Jesse James is bringing a 6-year-old with him, dragging him by his hand to the ring. The kid looks miserable and like he's about to piss himself. He's apparently the guest.
Do you know why he's miserable?
Because
he has to listen to "Spending My Days Working Hard on the Go." Road Dog's holding my hand and he won't let go. I think I'm about to be molested tonight.
Not bad. I'll give you props.
Thanks.
Improvisation. Honky on commentary says his search is almost over. Thank God, it's been going on too long. It's a squash match, and it was great because Jesse James does Jeff Jarrett's strut at the end of the match. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Yep, and Honky says he's impressed with Jesse James. He says, I've got my family guitar, a.k.a. the balsa wood that we painted and stained backstage right before this happened. Jesse's like, oh, my God, this is a piece of music history. And he looks like he's going to start playing it, and he just smashes it, hands back the remnants to Honky Tonk Man, says it's a little out of tune for me. The best part was that he cut his head open when he smashed the guitar.
Yep.
Good
wah, wah. Out of tune.
Yeah. Next, I know. Right. Come on. That's right up your alley. Some would say it's just incredible. Next, we get Crush and Savio.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty humorous joke. All right.
That's
all right.
a good
See what you did there.
trick. That's a good trick. Next, we get Crush and Savio Vega versus some jobbers. It's a squash. Next, we get Ken Shamrock video package. He's going to be in a no-holds-barred exhibition match next week. That ought to be awesome. And then, without a doubt, my favorite part of the night, hour 2, fireworks going off, pyro going off, and Vince McMahon screaming, explosion, contusion, concussion. I had to stop and rewind it just to listen to it a second time.
Damn it. We've told you before, anything that you put on that teleprompter, Ron will read. Oh, my God.
Oh, it was so fucking hilarious. God damn it. Oh, anyway, after that...
we should do a shot every time during WrestleMania that they say the word stupendous.
Yeah.
Won't even make it to, like, match 4.
It's too bad we didn't have a movie this week. Our episode could have been Explosion, Contusion, Concussion. Anyway,
Give it time. I could change shit up.
we get Paul Bearer. We get Paul Bearer coming to the ring. They're teasing him reuniting with Taker. Cuts a promo, says, "I did it all for Taker. I apologize. I need to come back home." Calls Taker. Lights flicker. There's a casket at ringside. Taker, obviously having been here before, comes down to the ring, locks the casket before he gets into the ring. To me, it was kind of a meaningless thing, but I understand that they did it because of the history. So I was kind of conflicted on it. But anyway, Taker says betrayal is something I can never forget, but maybe it's something I can forgive. This is another one of those promos where the music's still playing while he's cutting the promo. I hate that shit. Turn the fucking music off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So basically what he does is he takes the title and he hands it over to Bear and then just cold cocks him. Chases him out to the floor. Bear climbs out from under the ring and does the fireball. Does that. Yep. Mankind and Bear hug, so it was all a ruse. And then Sid comes out and chases him through the crowd. Hey, you got to set up new feuds, right? So
what's crazy is that we all know I was at that pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sid even makes it to this pay-per-view.
Really?
I don't think he's at the pay-per-view. For him to chase anybody off.
Well, we'll see.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Sid cuts a backstage promo on Mankind after that. And then we get Triple H with Goldust. No Marlena, no Chyna at ringside. So naturally, Chyna comes out at halfway through the match and eventually interferes. So Chyna and Triple H beat down Goldust. Pat Patterson and the officials come out, and next thing you know, Pat Patterson is fighting with Triple H. This was fucking hilarious because the crowd popped, commentary popped. Eventually, Chyna takes down Patterson, and they stomp him in the corner. Goldust is able to clear Triple H from the ring. Chyna and Goldust have a face-off, and Triple H gets Chyna to powder, and they head off. Yeah, that Pat Patterson thing was fucking hilarious. I did not see that coming. I don't remember it. Next, we get Austin to the ring. He's in the ring with McMahon, talking about how he said never said I quit. It's not changing for nobody. Don't care if you put me in with a good guy and they boo me, or if you put me in with a bad guy and they cheer me. And then Brett and him cut a promo back and forth while Brett's on the Jumbotron. This was good because it definitely is firmly solidifying him as a babyface, even if he's like a tweener. The crowd's definitely behind him. I feel like Austin had a tough time with this because I feel like he almost didn't expect the crowd to be that behind him. It seemed like he had a hard time taking it in and like being like, even though he delivered that line, it just seemed like he was like, holy shit, I am over as fuck. And it just
like
seemed
you got to
like,
wait more for pauses of cheering because boos, you're used to just rattling over them.
Yeah, it was weird. So it's not that it was bad. It's just it's definitely low on his list. But he doesn't have to say much because the crowd's saying everything that we need to hear at this point. So, and then we get our main event. We get Bret Hart versus Rocky Maivia for the IC title. Tony Atlas is in the crowd again, sitting on his ass again. Bret does lock in the figure 4 spot on the post. It's a DQ because he doesn't break the 5 count. Austin goes after Bret, but then Bulldog and Owen come out, and then Legion of Doom come out. Now, that's how we go off the air. I remember this because I know Stu Hart and Bret's brothers are going to get involved at some point in an 8-man tag match. And I know who one of the other members is, but I can't remember the other one. Is it Ahmed?
Which match?
So they do
No, there's no Ahmed. I don't think Ahmed ever gets involved.
So we get an 8-man. And I'm pretty sure it's the Hearts.
Are you talking about Canadian Stampede?
That might be what it is because you've got the Hart family is in the crowd, and I think Austin goes after Stu, and then the brothers.
So
go
that
after
match
Austin.
ends up being
Pillman's in it.
LOD. Yeah. So it'll be all of Hart Foundation. You'll have Bret, Owen, Pillman, Bulldog, and Anvil, and then they'll be taking on Austin, Shamrock, Goldust,
and Goldust. That's what it is. Okay.
LOD.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I lost it. Yep.
Shamrock and Goldust were the always two that I was like, really? You couldn't get anybody else involved. How about just pull in Taker? Because considering he's your champion, you know what I mean? Like, it's WWF versus Canada at this point. But, you know, I digress. I don't think they're going to change that part of history. All right, what happened with Nitro?
All right, on to Nitro. We're going to recap of last week's main event with DDP running down and getting jumped by the NWO. And we start with a shot of the NWO exiting the limo. But there's some people that aren't there. Bischoff's not there. Hogan's not there. DiBiase isn't there. Scott Hall isn't there. So it's very sparse. It's just Nash, Six, Norton, and Wall Street. I think that's all that's there. Oh, Liz and Macho. All right, so they head in. First match, we get Lex Luger and Giant versus Rick Fuller and Roadblock. Giant's the hot tag, and they win. Harlem Heat jump Luger and Giant post-match, and they fight off until commercial break, where we get Gene on the ramp with Harlem Heat and Sherry talking about the Four Corners match at Spring Stampede. Words were spoken. Nothing to speak of. Next, we get Maiko Satomura versus Toshi Uematsu. This is a match as part of a tournament for the new WCW Women's Cruiserweight title. For real?
Wait, those were girl names?
Yeah. Uematsu wins, or as Larry Zbyszko said, the one in green. She'll be heading to the finals. Next, we get Psychosis versus Volano 4. Didn't watch. Psychosis wins.
Next, Volano 4 better than 3.
Yeah. Personally, 2 is my favorite, but that's a different story altogether.
One just didn't care.
Huh?
I don't know. I said number 1 didn't care. I don't know.
That's you moved on to 2, and 2 did such a good job you forgot about 1, but you still had to use the 2 because there was a 1. What are we talking about? Can we move on? We're talking about
who's on first?
Mean Gene with Ric Flair and Ring, and as he's about to start the promo, Piper's music hits. This went nowhere. It was hilarious, and I loved it. Don't change a thing. Piper says Flair's girlfriends do not. I want to tell you something, Mean Gene. Flair's girlfriends do not call his waterbed the Dead Sea.
I don't know what that means. Does he bang them to death? Does he Bill Cosby them?
No.
I don't understand what that meant.
It just means he sucks in bed.
Oh.
Because he has a waterbed.
Well, that joke went over my head.
Flair says, I'm glad your humble Hollywood ass could join us tonight. And then at one point the bagpipe music starts and Flair says, no, stop the music. And then they call some rando chick into the ring who hugs Piper. And the last note that I wrote was crazy meets crazy.
Yeah, it was more like, I think that when he called that girl in the ring, I'm like, maybe we should have kept that music going. I think they were kind of pulling, man, how many times are we going to keep mentioning the Oscars today? But seriously, I think they were kind of pulling the old,
we're going to get
the playoff music there.
We get another one later, too. So next we get La Parka versus Prince Iukea for the TV title. Iukea retains. He'll face Regal at Spring Stampede, and guess what? He retains. Next, we get Mean Gene on the ramp with Regal before his match with Jericho. Calls Rey Mysterio a bloody dwarf. Hilarious. And after that, we get Regal versus Jericho. This was not a very long match, but it was a solid match. 2 guys that could go. They worked well together. It was just fun to watch. Regal jumps him post-match, hits him with a pile driver, and puts the Regal stretch on afterwards. Renegade comes out to make the save, but then backs off. Then Joe Gomez comes out to make the save. Regal goes after him, hits a pile driver, stretches him. Billy Kidman comes out, tosses him. Some guy with the last name of Lane on his shorts comes out, gets kicked in the dick, and Regal just cleared house. It's nice to see him not...
Renegade cut a promo. He was like, Mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law.
We can edit that out, right?
Nope. Oh, shit. I think I just pulled something laughing at myself. That was a good one.
Hour 2. Wall Street gets pissed at the NWO and just leaves. They're teasing dissension in the NWO and then breaking out into factions. Wonder if anything will ever happen with that. Next, we get Debbie Combs versus Akira Hokuto, who is your women's champion. It is for the title, and Akira retains naturally. Then, quite possibly, one of my favorite moments of the Monday Night's Wars this week. We get Mean Gene on the ramp with Medusa. Hakuta comes out and attacks Medusa out of nowhere. And Gene, as he's scrambling, what kind of crap is this? And then we run into him. Oh, my back! My neck and my back!
Was someone watching,
Friday?
what is it? Friday. Yo, that's, I have a question. Does the winner of this tournament throw it right into the trash? Because I know that's what Medusa did when she came over with the women's title from WWE, but I swear to God, I don't recall this championship being around. I don't even remember this tournament, let alone a title. I actually can't wait to see this thing. I swear I don't know anything about it. I haven't even looked into it. I was like, I could, but I'm going to watch it weekly because I don't remember anything of it. So I think it may be a very brief stint into women's wrestling on this show.
Yeah, well, it's weird because they had the tournament for the Women's World Championship, and Medusa lost, which is hilarious because she was your highest profile women's wrestler. So she lost it. Then Medusa comes back one day and cuts a promo saying there's no women's wrestling. And now all of a sudden there's a tournament for a women's cruiserweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine.
Well, a lot of them were a little too big boned. So this one here is for the cruiserweight chickies.
Yeah, maybe fucking Riho can go back in time and win that title. Next we get the amazing French Canadians versus Mongo and Jeff Jarrett. Mongo actually hits a drop kick in this one. And Public Enemy comes down and just turns it into a shit show. They take the briefcase from Deborah, but then Colonel Parker steals it, tosses it to Rougeau, who uses it on Mongo for the win. Gene's in the ring with Mongo and Jeff Jarrett post-match. Deborah again says way too many words. If I was Mean Gene, I just would have pulled that mic out of her face and be like, shut up, you're done talking. Basically, it's Mongo and Jeff Jarrett butting heads again and lots of loud noises.
I almost wonder when WWE got the trademark for As Good As It Gets, I wonder if they had to wait for the release from WCW, who was using it pretty heavily back then at this point.
Yeah, apparently. Next we get Hugh
weekly we keep doing these Deborah segments that people are booing the balls out of. Like, they're not booing her because she's a heel. They're booing her because she just sucks.
Why do we call it X-Pac heat and not Deborah heat?
Oh my God, we're going to start calling it that from now on.
There you go.
Deborah McMichael's heat.
It is done. Next we get Hugh Morris versus Benoit.
It's Deborah heat, y'all.
Okay. Thank you. Jimmy Hart is still in a regular suit again. I kind of like it. It's a nice change of pace. Benoit gets a quick pin, but just like last week, Sullivan and the Dungeon jump Benoit. Jacqueline shoves the woman to the floor. Where are the fucking horsemen? Jacqueline hits a splash on Benoit. She goes for it again, but woman shakes the ropes and crotches her. She goes in. She lays in a punch on Jimmy Hart, knocks him down. Finally, Flair comes to the ring. Arn Anderson comes out, but he just stands on the floor because he can't do anything because he's got a broken back. And this segment turns into fucking Oprah because it's, you get a dick kick. You get a dick kick.
See, this would have been better off on People's Court. Better than this J.J. Dillon, Kevin Sullivan thing. Sullivan could have taken this entire angle and they all could have went to People's Court. That would have made better sense.
Yeah, probably not. But
it was a Jerry Springer of a segment.
Yeah, pretty much. In ring with Gene post-match, Benoit cuts a promo on Sullivan and Malenko. Next we get Lance Ringo. Correctamundo. Lance Ringo versus DDP. Ringo has the Nude Celebrities edition with Kimberly in it as he's coming to the ring. Heenan says there's an article in there about space engineering, I think. It's a squash. Gene gets in the ring with DDP post-match. Macho and DDP are going to face each other at Spring Stampede. DDP puts Kimberly over. He's very proud of the issue and the company that she shares. He does more Snap Into It references and then brother. I hope Macho
and then
DDP
said, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, Macho.
Slap. Macho says, Liz tells me your name is Diamond Dallas Page. Kimberly's name is the Diamond whatever the fuck her name is. Your finisher is the Diamond Cutter. What are you, some kind of gemologist? Way to go, Macho.
Do you think he thought of that promo backstage? He's like,
Probably.
I got an idea.
Probably.
He's like a gemologist.
Let's see if DDP has any family jewels, okay?
Maybe he has a rock collection. I like the Shawshank Redemption.
You know what I predict? Pain. Pain!
Brother.
Next, we get the Steiner Brothers versus High Voltage as a squash. We end with Nash and Syxx heading to commentary. Again, Heenan crawls across the table to try to get away, and his foot gets caught in the cable. Nash is just standing there holding the headphones, like slightly tugging it. And Heenan's there for like 10 seconds trying to get his foot loose. It was
awesome. Nash no-sold it, just staring at him.
Yes. Oh, Nash no-sold it perfectly. It was so good. Nash says the NWO needs a State of the Union address. It's weird because they've been alluding to it since the beginning of the show, but they really haven't given us anything to go off of. Hall says he's not sure what's going on with the NWO. He says, Scott Hall, he's taking care of stuff more important than wrestling right now, but the rest of the NWO, they're at Rodman's movie premiere, and you guys need to get focused. 5 times throughout this, all Syxx says is, are these things even working? Grabbing his headphones. 5 times. And then finally at the end, he throws them off and he points at the camera. Don't you wrap me up? What is with WCW and them telling people not to wrap me up? Why does it happen so often?
Don't play my music. Don't wrap me up. Don't tell me to stop. Look at him. I'm not sure if you understand this, but that's kind of how what a production team does. Maybe this might be why your guys went to shit. Later on down the road, Eddie's cutting promo, throwing coffee on himself. Unscripted. Steiner goes out and says, WCW sucks around here. You know what? Maybe if we had structure back in 97 and you didn't tell them to cut you off, and they did cut you off, maybe in 2000, you wouldn't have been struggling for a fucking company. Just throwing that out as an option.
Well, it's funny because Jericho talks about that. He talks about when he was having trouble getting over, he'd be like, oh, just let me go cut a promo real quick, and he'd be out there for 5 minutes. Right? Yeah. So,
but they didn't know what he was going to say. They were like, oh, you're going to talk? Oh, okay, check mark 5 minutes. All right, well, what else do we have? Where's El Masco? Oh, he's at WWE this week? All right. Let's get Ringo. So it's funny because I wrote down, what is X-Pac on? What is this? Is this on? Is this on? Is this headphone on? Is this on? Hey, man, don't cut me off.
Your headphones work fine, pal.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for...
Best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. Hold 2, arm bar.
Sodas rule.
Yeah, they do.
Hold 3, the moss-covered, 3-handle family gradunzel.
It's me, Austin.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
I did it for The Rock.
This week's top topic.
You know something, Mean Gene? John Cena.
Wrestling's not fake.
The Rolex wearing one, diamond ring wearing one, kid stealing, woo, wheeling dealing one, limousine right one, jet flying one, son of a gun, woo.
Sierra Hotel. India. Echo. Lima. Delta. Shield.
If you smell.
Charlotte on the top rope. Moonsault by Charlotte.
champion, still in control now. Small package by the Dragon. They got him. Look out, the big splash. 1, 2. He got him. He got him. And again, Cena counters. Hey! Hammer. Cena does it.
Ken Shamrock stopping it right now. That's it. Out comes Steve Austin. Austin had it out. Austin is unconscious. Austin never gave up. He got all of it. Michael's got all of it. Michael with a cover. 5, 2,
The Undertaker is at Kino. Shawn Michaels' career is over.
Austin, he got it. The Stagger. Mike Tyson in. Austin is the champion. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
I'm going to get it out of the way right now. Oh, WrestleMania. Yeah, baby. WrestleMania week. And whether or not it is going to be a good WrestleMania, you know that there are some great times that have happened that you could always look back on. And as I said, that's what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, is checking out some of the older stuff. And, you know, I'm going to use the words of Shawn Michaels last week in the Slammies. Well, I'm going to take a proud beating for this one from O.D.M. It was supposed to be the top 10 main events of WrestleMania of all time. But let me tell you something. It's kind of hard because then you're like, well, oh, man, 11 could hit this one. But, man, that number 2, oh, but this one would be 12. Man, but this one did have this. You know what I'm saying. And that's how pretty much every topic of ours goes, and pretty much how I explain it every time how it goes. But here's the thing. Right now, we're about to have WrestleMania 38. But yeah, here's the deal, man. If you and I wait all the way till, we say the top 50 WrestleMania main events, the way they're going right now and adding on events, that's only going to be just a couple of years away from now. It's going to have like 100 by like 2040.
Yeah, dear God, no.
All right. Look it. Normally I do the backwards numbers, right? We go, here's the worst to our best. And I think I'm going to go reverse today, because then we could just kind of fly through at the very end and what really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I figure probably for the better on this. And I wanted to get your opinion. So the number one match, I think, of all time at WrestleMania. Again, all of these are main events. So you got to take out Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Taker at 25. You got to take out a lot of great matches.
Absolutely.
I haven't asked you. Do you agree as to how this order looks?
It's hard because we've done these lists before, and it's so hard because you're like, I put this one.
Some could swap one to the other near each other.
Ultimately, as far as main events, I think your number one is dead on, just because as far as main events go, dude, it's one of the most polarizing things. Not polarizing. That's the wrong word, but it just the energy. It was one of those things where
it was the peak. It was your absolute peak in the Attitude Era. I mean, it was your most watched wrestling time ever. And we're talking about WrestleMania 17, Austin and Rock. You knew what was going to happen when they were getting in there. It was two of your top guys, both top merch sellers, meaning not just because they're in the top merch sellers, they need to be in the main event. I'm saying because people loved them that much. They were that over. It was just a banger of a match that everybody knew was going to be awesome. A little skeptical on the ending when it comes to McMahon, but you can't deny that's the best one.
Yep.
So, again, we're going to blow through these, a little quicker than you anticipate, but let me ask you this question. Let me tell you this right now. If any of them you're like, no, that should be way down the line, blah, 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 speak your mind at that point.
Absolutely.
So, number one, again, is Austin and Rock at 17. The main event for number 2 was at WrestleMania 6, Hogan and Warrior. You want to talk about another one? It's kind of the same exact setup, really. Two of your most over guys going for the titles right there.
Yeah, I don't.
Most people remember that match most than anybody else. Everybody's always like, "Oh, Hogan and Warrior," and they mention a couple of certain matches. This is one everybody goes to that I at least remember, that everybody's like that they remember when they were younger. But yeah, what were you going to say about this?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to add commentary to every single match. I'm just going to keep
exactly
to But this one, I remember exactly where I was when I watched this. I know exactly where I was. I can picture it in my head.
Yep.
And at the time, it was the biggest thing that I'd ever seen in wrestling. Going back, with fresh eyes and looking at the match, it's a terrible wrestling match.
Oh, it is. It really is.
It's a shit show. But goddamn, the big fight feel, the anticipation, the payoff.
Crowd.
It was amazing.
The crowds on a lot of these matches also are playing a major factor in these main events. That's a big thing. Because some of them, on paper, you look at a Roman Reigns and Undertaker, yeah, that sounds great, but after a 17-hour show, the crowd didn't give a fuck what happened, and that makes a difference, and especially not just your crowd there, but your audience, who was into it. And you mentioned for, what's at number 2 here, WrestleMania 6, my entire house was divided. My mom watched this pay-per-view. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody was divided in the house. Everybody was Hogan or Warrior. Not gonna lie, man, I was a Hogan guy. At that point, I was like, no, I'm the win. I like Warrior. He's cool, but I like him having the Intercontinental title. Boy, you can't beat Hogan. He wins. It was awesome. It was a big moment. Number 3, I've talked about. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. It's WrestleMania 20. Benoit versus Triple H versus HBK. And that's, the ending with Eddie Guerrero and Benoit, the moment, the main event, the years in the making. All bullshit aside. Great match. Number 4, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at WrestleMania 26, where Shawn Michaels' career ended. He oddly resurrected it in Saudi Arabia, but... Number 5, great match, was at WrestleMania 24, Undertaker versus Edge. That's where Undertaker becomes a world champion. Next, we have Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin at 14. Number 30 with Orton, Batista, and Daniel Bryan. Coming in at number 8 is at WrestleMania 3, Hogan and Andre. Again, that's kind of one of those, you look at it and you're like, dear God, this match is dog shit. But it's everything. Him lifting it. Yeah, and it's funny because, oh my God, he body slammed him. Yeah, like 7 years before that, but I guess we're not going to talk about that, are we? No.
By
all
multiple people.
Exactly. Thank you. It's how you present it. Number 9, Mega Powers exploding at WrestleMania 5. And number 10, I just recently watched. I give this one a lot of credit. The crowd was into it. It was a hot main event. Batista winning the world title from Triple H. It was the culmination of Evolution. Great. For it being what it was, a Triple H match, and it kind of everything that it was. You look at both those matches that night for the world titles. You had Cena and JBL, and you had Batista and Triple H. They closed with the absolute right one that night. I'm so glad they closed with that one. Number 11, Shooting Star Press missing, but it doesn't matter. 19, Lesnar and Angle. Then, at number 12, I think it earned its right for what it was, being as creative as it had to be during a pandemic. The Boneyard match, closing out night 1 of WrestleMania. Had the Firefly match ended one, that could have really been in contention. But I think the Boneyard match was definitely deserving.
Yep.
Iron Man match then comes in with Hart and Michaels. After that, last year's main event, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Coming in at number 15, you have WrestleMania 35's main event, Ronda Rousey, Ric Flair, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Flair and Becky Lynch. Botch ending. But again, it's the women in the ending. Again, the only issue is you had a drained crowd. Could have been better on the list. This match probably could have been better because going back and watching it, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Ending was a little botched, but it is what it is.
Yep.
So after that, you have the triple threat last year with Roman, Daniel Bryan, and Edge. Coming in at number 17, Fatal 4-Way with the of WrestleMania 2000. So Triple H, Mick Foley, Big Show, and The Rock, and you had a McMahon in every corner. Then Cena, Miz, the first Austin and Rock, which was at WrestleMania 15. And then coming in at number 20 is Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. You know, I just watched it. Dude, for a celebrity being in the match, the crowd is hot as shit in that match. They are so jacked up because it's Hogan and Piper, and the crowd is already hating him. You have the long marching band coming in playing the Scottish anthem for his theme. Just a great match, man. It's very underrated, I think. I don't know if it's really necessary to even go through the rest of the main events. If we haven't named them by now, I guess it really doesn't matter the order. The more I'm kind of looking at this, I think when you have your top 20 there, I think that's kind of the best way of looking at it. But let me just say, we'll just go like this. The rest are all interchangeable, minus your last three that your worst are. The absolute worst was Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, night 2. It was just exchanging F5s and
2K
Claymore kicks. Yup, and then a pin. It was horrible.
Yeah,
it was a copy and paste of Goldberg and Braun Strowman the night before, but the only difference is that one didn't main event. The Boneyard match did.
There you go.
Following that was Hogan and Sid with that horrible WrestleMania ending with Papa Shango and Warrior. I would have been much happier if they ended the night with Savage and Flair. That should have been the better match.
Papa Shango.
Papa
Shango was too busy smoking a joint backstage before he ran out. That's why he fucked up.
Hey man, I was on time, my time, blunt time. Then you had Taker and Sid at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
But then I got to be honest, another shit show was 32.
Yep.
Triple H and Roman Reigns. You never should have ended it with a complete boo fest. I said it from the start, and they did it. It was a horrible idea. Yeah. Well, that's our list, man. But hang on. We got a news break. This just in. This year's WrestleMania is said to only be as good as it gets. So, we here at the Top of Wrestling Podcast, we are ready to draft up the greatest WrestleMania event of all time. That's good breaking news. I like that. However, we decided that there's going to be 15 matches, and that sounds like a lot, but let's imagine it's the 80s, and the crowd is all hyped up on Mountain Dew for the kiddos, and Vinnie Mac has a giant plate of Coke for all the crowd. All right, everybody's going to be happy the whole time. Here we go. Is that too much? Too much of a description?
I hate you so much.
Come on, man. We're going to have some fun with this. We did have a little pre-match order to what everything will be, and we'll just describe them as they go along. We don't need to go through all this, but here's the deal. We're going to give you the best WrestleMania that you could imagine of all time. We're going to have people broken down into different eras, which will make a difference. So you have 4 different eras. You have the Golden Era, and these are all WrestleMania eras, right? You have to pick guys that have been in WWE and most likely at a WrestleMania. But you have your Golden Era, which is from WrestleMania 1 all the way to 12. Your Attitude Era, so WrestleMania 13 to WrestleMania 18. Your Ruthless Aggression Era, WrestleMania 19 to WrestleMania 26. And I don't know what you want to really call this era now, but we'll call it the new era. So WrestleMania 27 to today, WrestleMania 38.
The good as it gets era.
As good as it gets era. That's fucking awesome. That's too much to write down for each one of these matches, though. But I like it. I like where your head is at, son. All right. Now, if we, back in the day, Jim Ross said that when you book a WrestleMania, your plan should be at the end of WrestleMania, whatever number you're at right now, Monday Night Raw, you should have a plan in mind as to who is main eventing. And now work your way backwards and work your way there. You want to know what your big main event is going to be. Nowadays, they just wait until the last minute and see what fits and who made it all the way through, without being cut. So we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to be smart about it. We're going to book your main event first, which will be, we're going to call it the TOW World Championship, the top of wrestling. Yeah, I like that. All right. So you have your world title match, and you're going to have tag team title matches. Now, both of these matches, any guy, anywhere, any man from any era. So, O.D.M., I did the work of putting all this in here, but I'm also, making you do this out of probably, I don't know, hatred. I'm sure you probably don't want to do this right now, but we're going to do this anyway for my fun. So I'm going to give you the honors of going first, man. Any era, any guy, any man you want. It is the World Championship match at WrestleMania. Who would you draft?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Okay.
Come on, man. He's like a 20,000-time world champion. If you're going to represent the world title in the greatest WrestleMania ever, you got to have the limo riding, jet flying. Fill in the rest of the phrase.
Fill in the rest of the bank, son of a gun. All right, and you and I did make an agreement ahead of time. Look, you're not just going to pick Heath Slater because it's fun, right. and we want to make this a real, actual great WrestleMania.
Yeah, there's lots of other people that I could have very easily picked here, but look, since this one is more it's more wide open, I want to save some of those for the other eras that they're in.
Thank you. So, and my point is I very easily could just go, well, I want to win this, so Brock Lesnar, I squash, I win, right? But I want to have a great WrestleMania main event. So, I'm glad that you win.
Yeah, and I'm not even trying to win here. It's just about, I want something that counts,
Thank you. That's my point. I mean, we're keeping score, at least I am. Anyway, so if you're going to have the greatest WrestleMania main event, and we're going to say that when these matches come down to it, and we're talking about eras, they are in that era. So if we're talking an Attitude Era match and we say Undertaker, then he's the Attitude Undertaker, right? That's our point to that. In this anything goes, we're just going to say your prime. Would that make sense to you? Ric Flair's best prime.
Absolutely.
Then I am going to say that he is going to go against Hulk Hogan in his prime. Best heel versus your best face. Never did I think I was going to draft Hogan first. I swear to God, that's how awesome this is going to be. So excited about this. All right, so that is our main event. Now, let's talk about the top of wrestling tag team championships. I'm going to keep giving you the honors first. I think we'll go that way unless you want to flip-flop.
Why don't we snake? Yeah, we'll flip-flop.
So next one. So this is me, right? So this is my tag team of any time. Oh, wow. That's a doozy. Because it really could be anybody. God, some of my favorite teams of all time, too. But since you went the route that you just did, I think it's going to kind of alter up my plans a touch anyway. So I think for the tag team championship, I would like to see Legion of Doom. Now, I have to say Legion of Doom because, again, this is WWE, version. So we, it's their prime of whatever they were between the 92 to 99 era there. Because obviously this isn't the 80s Road Warriors. I'm specifying that now because it may make a difference against who you're drafting.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a tough one. Fuck, man. Steiner Brothers.
Ooh. Wow, I didn't... wow. Again, people you never thought would be drafted. All right. The Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, again... Oh, nope, you're right. I'm sorry. This is the Women's World title. And then your women's tag titles. Those are the next two. Both of them are anything goes. So now you have the honors of taking the woman for the championship.
Rockin' Robin. I'm just kidding. No, definitely not her.
Oh my God. I was like, all right. I don't know how this match is going to go. I could pick legitimately anybody. Bertha Faye.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Nicole Bass.
I hate to say it, but man, she backs it up. Charlotte Flair.
Ooh, wow.
2 Flairs for me.
You picked Flairs for both titles.
Yeah.
It's funny, I wrote the word Flairs.
Flairs.
Flair. Okay.
I got your Flair. See? Here's my Flair.
Nice. Office Space reference. I'll take that. All right. Well, if you're going to go with her, I am going to have to pick, I think a great match for someone like Charlotte Flair is she needs someone that's, I mean, we've seen her against people, her style, her speed, things like that. I want to see someone that's maybe a little bit stronger than her, and I'm going to go with the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix.
Ooh, not bad. I like it. I thought you were going to say Nyla Rose, but
Nyla Rose has never worked in WWE, my friend. All right, for the women's tag team. Now, this is where I get to choose first.
Can I ask for some clarification on this one?
Yeah, it's any woman, anytime. They do not have to have ever tagged together, ever.
Thank you.
That was your clarification, right?
Absolutely.
That's fair. I've thought about this on how I would want, if I had the opportunity to get this
If you
match.
steal mine, I'm going to murder you.
You already know what it is. It's Trish Stratus and Lita. Oh, that's not who you were picking, huh?
Not at all.
I'm going all time here, and it's because I wanted to see that at WrestleMania this year, and they kind of blew that opportunity out the window. But
certainly,
who do you have as your tag team?
Mine is going to be a lot more outside the box.
Okay.
Because it's not something that you would ever think would be something that would be advertised. But me personally, I think it would be a powerhouse, and I'm pissed that we never got it, and we may never get it. We certainly might, but I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Oh, my God. Question. Do you want to up the ante on this one and make this a fatal four-way?
Get the fuck out of here.
It'd kind of be like this year's real one, because I just had another team in my mind, too. No, that's cool. I like that. Ooh, but that's got so much written all over it. Again, and when we get to going through each one of these matches, we're going to talk about logistics and who would really win. This match is going to be, let's see, the next one is, am I doing this right? Yes. The next match is Golden Era, a single wrestler from the Golden Era versus a single wrestler from the Attitude Era. Now, is that what you had that right?
Yes.
Yep.
This is what I have. Yeah, and this is the one where I get balled up, because in my mind initially when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, oh, I can pick the two people to match. I'm like, no, idiot, that's not how it works. So, you likely will have somebody picked out already, and we'll see if it matches up. This is gonna be hard for me, man, because
I'm basing off of you though.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Golden
in a
Era
way.
versus Attitude Era. Oh my God, this is gonna be even crazier. Oh fuck it then. I love this one even fucking better, Mr. Perfect.
Okay, Mr. Perfect was not on my radar for you. Okay,
because I got the Golden Era guy, right?
Yes. I guess that's how we'll have to do it, because that's how it's written, right?
Whoever picks first gets the first one in the matchup.
Or how about this? You can keep Perfect. It's whatever you choose. You can choose whichever one, since you're picking first.
There you go.
Do you still want to stick with Perfect?
Oh, sure do. Because I want to see Golden Era, Mr. Perfect. I want to see who you're going to pick up to go against him in the Attitude Era.
Whew, man. Options. Mr. Perfect. Again, these are prime. Let's see. Mr. Perfect taking on their prime. I'm going to have to say... Wait. Who the fuck did I pick already for that team? Okay, no. Which Perfect are you taking? Is that Golden Era or... Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't really...
Oh, no, you're right. That was his Attitude Era was mainly WCW, so you're correct.
Yep.
So I am going to go ahead and take Attitude Era Bret Hart.
You picked exactly who I wanted you to pick.
Because we've never seen it in that version where Perfect would pretty much be the face in this option.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah,
all right. I'm going to be really sad when this is over because none of these are real.
Right.
All right, so our next match will be another singles match, and it's someone from the Ruthless Aggression Era, a single, versus today's new era. Or As Good As It Gets era, as you like to dub it. And if I am going singles match, Ruthless Aggression, I am going to take my time because I don't know if I want to. I almost feel like it's a weird go-to. There's some options we have here. I am going to say new era Brock Lesnar.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Brock Lesnar.
So it has to be against anybody in the Ruthless Aggression era.
That's what I get, huh?
Yeah. Jeez, I've just thought of 17 matches in my head without even blinking.
Yeah,
oh, I blinked again. 34.
That's more your time period. That's less my time period for Ruthless Aggression. Ooh.
I don't want to help you, but again, we're trying to do this as a, forming the best thing. How about this? Think about this. He was in the same era, SmackDown 6. I'll say that's all I need to say. Enough.
Yeah, I mean, we can go Benoit.
Benoit, okay. I actually thought maybe we would go Angle. But Benoit and Lesnar, I don't think we ever really got that. I think there was a quick match on SmackDown once. Nothing major. But this is as a showcase. I'm in. All right, so now we move to...
Numero uno.
Now we get to have a little bit of fun. Golden Era single versus Golden Era single. And we'll even say this right now. This is the show opener.
Piper.
We got a Piper down.
Piper down.
Piper. Wow. I need to know. This helps.
I need to know.
Heel. If you say you're gonna leave. Is that Tom Petty? Is that the one you were doing? There's so many different ones. Hi. I was like, I thought it was I need to know, but I want to know it. I was like, I want to know. I want to know. God damn, that's a good song. Let's put that on. Hang on. Anyway. Check it out. All right. Is Piper heel or face? What in a golden era? Because, I mean, it could be from
heel.
WrestleMania 1 to... He's heel.
Yeah. Because it's weird because once he turned face, he never went heel again. But, I mean, heel Piper is heel Piper. Come on. You can't beat that.
That just changed a lot.
Yep. You can't use
Brutus the Barber beat.
Oh my God! We did it again.
No, I'm not. Wait, did you just say it?
I said it at the same time.
Get the fuck out of here! Oh, I can't wait to hear that one. Oh, fantastic. Jesus. Now I feel like I have to just for that, but I didn't really want to use him. A golden era, Piper being heel. Then I am going to go ahead and say a face, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, all right.
And if it's face, I mean, he was heel for like all the early eras of WrestleMania. He was face for like a minute for, you know, winning the championship at WrestleMania 4, right? But I'm not going to count that. I'm calling this as WrestleMania 8 face Savage.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, Redemption Savage versus heel Piper.
I'm down.
Oh my God. Again, already said this isn't a thing. All right, so coming up next will be Golden Era Tag Team versus Golden Era Tag Team. And I just realized I'm the one that has to pick first. Never mind. I was like, why are you so silent, man? You're real quiet. Go. So if it's Golden Era Tag Team, here comes the axe and here comes the smash. Demolition.
Nice.
God, I'm giving you a softball if you pick who I think you will, but you know, maybe you won't.
No, because that would be too easy and I'm really stuck.
Do you know who I was thinking? Who I'm talking about?
The Rockers?
No. All right.
I was going to say Coco Beware and Owen.
Are you high? Which is funny. The name of that thing was High Energy. That's really funny. But
no, honestly, you know what I was going to say, and you may look at it as heel versus heel, which I'm okay with. Brainbusters.
Sure, we Brainbusters. Okay. So I had one more on the idea that I thought would work, but we had seen it back in the 80s anyway at a WrestleMania, which would have been Demolition and Powers of Pain. I just thought it'd be two powerhouse teams. But Busters is a great idea, too, because that really, again, this doesn't have to be your face, heel, face, heel, face, heel. This is amazing. I like this idea. So now we move into what will be singles match.
Man,
Attitude Era versus Attitude Era.
Yeah. Let's come to an agreement on this. We're not doing Austin versus Rock. Let's think outside the box here.
Totally. Which is funny considering we have not even... They haven't even scratched the surface of being in the talk of things. That's so funny. It's your turn.
Mankind.
Mankind. Oh, man, I have to go with the obvious, man. But, I mean, it's... shit, do I?
I would say Taker or Mankind would be similar to Austin Rock. It's too easy.
Okay, thank you. But you have a paper down? No, that doesn't fit there, but it's just I'm down. Mankind versus man, that's a tough one. I am gonna go ahead and say Was he on the roster at that point?
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to go with Ken Shamrock. No. God, I'm going to go Kane. I don't think they ever actually had a really good full-blown feud anyway.
There you go. That's a good one.
They were a tag team together. Not what I wanted, but, you know, it's beggars can't be choosers, I guess. And now we move into a new era tag team versus a new era tag team. Now,
Attitude
these, of
era.
course, as
Attitude
we've...
era.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're 100% correct. Attitude Era Tag Team versus Attitude Era Tag Team, and this kind of goes without saying they have to be a tag team, right? You know, kind of how we did Busters and Demolition.
Yep.
So I apparently get to go first on this one. So if we're going to go an Attitude Era tag team, I got to double check the clarification on the years here. Attitude Era was WrestleMania 13 to 18. Oh, that doesn't work. All right. An Attitude Era tag team, I am going to go with Owen Hart and the British Bulldog.
Nice.
Not just because they're dead.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, too soon.
You're not sorry. Shut up. Leaf Cassidy and Marty Jannetty.
The New Rockers. Yo,
one
of these rounds, if you say it, it sticks.
Yeah, right. You know what? Fuck it. New Age Outlaws.
Do we ever actually get that with them? I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they kind of cross over at some point, but I don't think we ever really get a full New Age Outlaws and Bulldog and Owen. So that'll be kind of good to see. All right. I see where you're going there. So now we are at, Ruthless Aggression Era single versus a Ruthless Aggression Era single. Clarification again. WrestleMania 19 to 26.
Oh,
and this is you first, right?
Yeah, it is me first. This is again where I'm going to.
Good amount to pick from here.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna pick it because it's WrestleMania. It's John Cena.
Well, that just took out an honest pick that I was going to use. That's really funny. I was going to think Randy Orton, but I don't know if I want to see that one for the 127th time. We're trying to make this not as good as it gets. So your Ruthless single is Cena. I would ask which era, but it don't matter. It's the same. You know what I mean when I say Ruthless? Like what years a part of? Like was he face, heel? Never mind. It's the same guy. Because it's WrestleMania, I'm gonna go with that same Ruthless era. I think it's probably one of his best runs too. Undertaker.
There you go. And we never really got a decent match.
That match did not count. That did not count. Cena sitting in the audience all night. That didn't get. Fuck that shit. That didn't count. Stricken from the record book. Let's see. That was that and that. So the next would be Ruthless Aggression Tag Team and Ruthless Aggression Tag Team.
No. New Era single versus New Era single. Number 6.
Yeah, you're right. I could look at you.
They're your notes. I know I'm right. Chicken nuggets.
Wait, we did do the one already. Okay, yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So you're right. This is New Era single, New Era single.
Yup. Yes, sir.
Yup.
Yes, sir.
Yup.
Yes, sir.
Jesus. Get with the program, man.
Is he on the list?
He was in both eras. Man, I mean, we could really go all day on this one for anybody, but I will go ahead for... Wait, is it my turn? Yeah, it's my turn.
Get with the program.
You're probably going to be like, really? 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 Why am I saying that so many times? Miz.
Okay.
Make it a good match. Oh, can I change it? Never mind.
we've seen that before.
I can change it.
No.
No, I prematurely picked it.
Are you trying to feed me a line here?
No, I wasn't, you dick. That's funny. That's kind of feeding a line. But no, I picked Miz and I didn't want to because I realized I had a guy on deck that I could have used and I didn't use.
AJ Styles.
Ooh, okay. All right. I could look at you.
Do you know which one's next?
Well, judging by my math and everything that I've done wrong so far, why don't you just tell me what's next?
Well, I picked first, so I might as well. Ruthless Aggression Tag Team versus Ruthless Aggression Tag Team.
Yep, that's not what I had. Okay, all right. Nah, it is. All right, Ruthless Aggression Tag Teams.
I will go Hardy Boys.
They were a part of that. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You have Hardy Boys. I have Rated RKO.
Nice. I like it.
Damn. Can't wait to watch the show.
Enough chicken nuggets, you'll see it.
That's funny. That's a real good one. It's weird, man. Alien rang the bell, though. It was fucking awesome. So now that, I assume, would leave us with a New Era tag team match.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the 8-man that I have. Yep. Okay, so New Era tag team. And I get to pick first on this.
Sure do, Skip.
Ooh. They not only raise it, they are the bar.
Ooh.
I didn't think either one of them would be here at this point. I thought maybe Cesaro would have gotten taken early for some reason.
Well, I think I have a very good opponent for them in the Revival.
They are. They were a part of the nice. Wow. So, we're down to one more match that we have to put together, and this is an 8-man tag. And how this match works is we are going to pick one man from each era to form our 4-man group. So, I think in order, we'll go Golden Era, Attitude. We'll just go in order as we're about to go, and you picked last on that, so you get to start us off. Who is your Golden Era wrestler of choice?
Fuck, man, we've picked a lot of good ones already.
I know.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna go Jake Roberts.
Now, let me ask you this question right now. This starts a whole big debate, but this is the only thing that'll make a difference on this one match only. You're picking Jake Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Heel or face? From Golden Era.
Are we gonna?
Because
really
he
split
just
hairs
hit
on an
heel
8-man
at the
tag?
end.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, yes, because wouldn't you want to have heels versus face? If you start with a heel and your team is going to go all heels, which I think would be a great
Then
idea, I could be all face.
I'm going to pick heel.
So it's heel Roberts.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to know. Heel Roberts. All right. So that is going to give me a team of faces. And I am going to kick off Brutus the fucking bird. The bad guy, Razor Ramon.
Nice. Thank you. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, back to you with your attitude. No pun intended, as you just told me to fuck myself. That was perfect timing. We are running out of time. People don't like dead air. Pick someone.
Yeah, no,
Come on.
it's okay. I'm just consulting my list here because I want to make sure that I didn't miss something. Because
Looking
I
at all your action
didn't,
figures.
And I think this works out perfectly. I'll take The Rock.
Oh. A heel Rock. shit, then I am going to have to go ahead and take a face Austin, man.
Yep, I was going to, that's what originally I was going to pick, but.
I mean, you can't really have one if we're not going to have the other in this pay-per-view. Otherwise, by the way, this isn't a premium live event. This is a fucking pay-per-view.
Premium live. I hate you.
A Ruthless Aggression era. So with Roberts and Rock so far.
Chris Jericho.
Shit. Damn. And I'm trying to make my team make some sense. I don't want just a clusterfuck of who's for face. Would that person work with him? Damn, just kind of falls right in line, man. Eddie Guerrero.
Nice, because I was almost going to pick... Was he face during that time?
Oh, totally. In Ruthless Aggression?
All right. Well, glad I didn't pick him because it wouldn't have worked.
But what's great is you could see almost each one of these having a feud across the ring with each other. Austin and Rock, Roberts, Razor, Jericho and Eddie. So, capping it off, who's your new era single?
Oh, you're going to love this so much.
Mother. Well, it's a heel.
The Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
That works really well with Roberts. I think that's a smart, and Jericho, smart team. So, Austin, he's against authority. Eddie Guerrero, he didn't like authority. He liked to lie, cheat, and steal. Razor, he does what he wants and when he wants. I got to cap it off with CM Punk on my team.
Perfect. Fucking nailed it. Damn.
All right. WrestleMania is in the books when it comes to what the plan is. Now, we just go in order, man. Let's talk about it, and we have it right here. So, there's 15 matches. Again, crowd's hyped. They have no reason to come down at all. Ever.
Oh, they'll come down.
Well, maybe. All right, well, the opening match is a heel. Roddy Piper. It's Golden Era singles. Roddy Piper against Randy Savage. I'll just go ahead and say, in this, no one's ever put Piper's shoulders to the mat, and I don't think this is going to be the first time that it happens either. I think Piper would probably get the win.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say maybe Macho to get the crowd hyped because it's the first match, but no, it's Piper.
Could see a nice little dirty roll-up after poke to the eye.
Yeah, grabbing the tights, you know how it goes.
Piss off the crowd nice and early. But then they're going to have a Attitude singles match. Mankind versus Kane. I'll let you choose the winner on this one. I think we'll just do the same thing. We'll go back and forth as to who goes first.
There you go.
So
I think ultimately Kane is going to win this one. He's too much of a force. Mankind can take a loss. It's not going to hurt him, but he'll take tons of abuse and fight to the end. So I think you get Kane because Kane ultimately I think will be the face in this one, and I think Kane's the winner.
I don't disagree at all. I see that 100% the exact same way. Our Golden Era tag team match where Brain Busters take on Demolition. I think that although they're a powerhouse team, they're going to get outsmarted by, no pun intended, Brain Busters. I think Busters take the win on this.
All right. I was going to say just give Brain Busters are good in the ring. They can lead the match, but they can take the loss too and get a pop for Demolition. That was going to be my approach.
All right, so we're at a tie. Which one would you let's look at this one. How do you really see this? You can't go the old school WrestleMania 2 or 3 where they have a double count out at 6 minutes. That's too easy.
I know, right? Lazy booking. I mean, I can see the Brainbusters taking the win. I understand what you're saying. Mr. Fuji.
Well, it's also looking at your next match. You got to have ebbs and flows, right? You have to have what's coming up next, which was honestly going to be Owen and Bulldog versus...
Then I'm with Brainbusters.
Okay, because I'm in probably the same realm as you. Because up next will be New Age Outlaws against Owen Bulldog. And I'm going to go ahead and assume you're thinking that the Outlaws pull it off.
Yep.
Yep.
Pop.
Yep.
Owen and Bulldog are heels. They can take the loss.
Yep. Up next, we get the Ruthless Aggression era singles match. John Cena and Taker. Now, Ruthless Era, again, can be 19 to 26. So it's not like it's a brand new John Cena. You know, the one that's yelling Ruthless in Angle's face. But we're also getting a pretty good prime Undertaker who's just defeated Michaels. He's had a great run at the world title. I think technically this is supposed to be... Oh, I kind of chose the Outlaws on that last one for you because I just assumed, but I think this one's technically back to me.
Yep.
I think Taker wins. I don't think Cena's going to overcome Taker at WrestleMania. That's another pop you're going to have, plus the streak never should have died in the first place.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
All right.
On to you, and it's... Yeah.
Versus AJ Styles. I'm really, I get the ebbs and flows here, so I don't want that to determine my my decisions too much.
Too much your booking, right.
But I'm going to go with AJ Styles on this. I think Miz is another one that can put on a good match, can heal it up, and can get a good pop for AJ to get the win.
Totally. Which is funny because the next match just kind of works itself out the right way. You have 2 face wins, and I have a feeling in this next one we're going to agree on this one. The Hardy Boys always seem to come up short in certain matches, and they're going to face Rated RKO. And I feel like Edge and Orton together, there's no way the Hardys win this. I think it's RKO.
Agreed.
So we have a new era tag team match, which is the Bar versus the Revival. What do you think?
It's funny because I feel they could both be heels, but I think the Bar was super over. But ultimately, oof. You're gonna
put yourself in the match for a minute, and you have, it's going to be a back and forth match. There's going to be some hot tags, both very strong competitive tag teams. But in the end, when we start hitting some finishers, things like that, I don't know if FTR or Revival can really pull off the upset over the Bar, to be honest with you.
That's what my thought is. You got a brogue kick and you have the gotch slam or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
That's not, the Bar. It's the Bar.
Okay. A singles match that on the grandest stage of them all would be fucking phenomenal. Brock Lesnar taking on Chris Benoit. Now, this one is you to... Or no, this is actually technically, I guess, me.
Yeah, it's back
all
to
right.
you, yes.
There's no way Benoit can do it. I think it's going to be kind of it's kind of like Mankind and Kane. It's going to be one of those fighting hard battles. You know what it is going to be? It's Michaels coming up short against Taker twice. It's going to be Michaels coming up short against Kurt Angle. Some of those real great matches that made you think, holy shit, he's going to pull it off, but he just can't. Benoit would be that underdog to pull it off against Lesnar, but he's not going to be able to. So Lesnar definitely takes the win.
Yep.
All right. Now we have your Golden Era and your Attitude Era singles. So you chose Mr. Perfect, a face Mr. Perfect, taking on Canadian heel Bret Hart of the Attitude Era. Break it down.
Yeah, this one gets really tough just because of the change in who's face and who's heel, especially with what's coming up next and what just preceded it.
You know that Bret's going to slap on that figure 4 in the ring post at some point, because if anybody's going to be able to sell it, it's definitely going to be Perfect.
Yeah, Bret's got to take this one. We just had a Canadian lose in the last match. We can't have another one lose right in a row. And as much Mr. Perfect is the guy that even when you liked him when you're supposed to hate him, you always saw him lose in the big matches. And that tends to happen when he turns face too. So, you know what? Brett's got to take this one.
And I think that Brett could even do some heel tactics in this to make you sympathize for Perfect in that.
Absolutely.
Ooh, coming around the mountain, man. 5 matches left. Here we go. The 8-man tag. Now, this one I didn't think was going to be as good as it ended up turning out to be. So you have the heel team of Jake Roberts, The Rock, Chris Jericho, and Bray Wyatt, taking on Razor Ramon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Eddie Guerrero, and CM Punk. Oh, man, for how things have been going in the night of things to maybe come, plus just how a match like this tends to go over, I would say we're probably going to look at the faces will probably take the win on this. You'll probably see someone like Jericho powder off and go, fuck it, I'm out. I can't deal with this team. Like, someone's going to give up on their team. You know what I'm saying? It always happens in a heel setup like that. Something like, yeah, that's kind of, what do you think? You think that would be the option?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Typically with these 8-man matches, the faces go over just because it turns into a shit show. There's not much you can do, and you just use it to get a pop, lots of finishers, and call it a night.
As we did for that one. Now we have our 4 championship matches. So all these titles are vacant. Women's Tag Team Championship, we have Trish and Lita taking on goddamn submissions machine of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I mean, Jesus, I'm not even the one picking this, and I already know who I would pick, but go ahead.
I'm picking Rousey and Baszler. Trish Stratus and Lita are legends, but Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are shooters. They are the definition of shooters, and they just come in, they wreck the shop.
Trish and Lita could sell the shit out of them, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a good match to watch of them almost overcoming the odds, but they can't beat the heels. There's no way, not with both of them being as strong as they are. Good match, though. I think that'd be phenomenal, which is going to be followed up by your one-on-one women's world title match, which is Charlotte Flair and Beth Phoenix. I got to give it to Flair. Don't want to, but it's what would happen. I don't think Beth is going to be the one to put her in her place. Unless I see it happen this weekend by Rousey, I don't think Flair goes down to anybody.
Yeah. And I kind of have to take the same approach with the next match, which would be the Legion of Doom beating the Steiner brothers.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, yeah, there's no way the Steiners would be able to overcome LOD in the era of what this is supposed to be for both of them in the WWF mode. That's the point, is that neither of them were ever, both teams were never in Ruthless, Attitude, any of that other stuff together or anything like that. Well, I mean, they did LOD did a little bit of Attitude, but we'll say that was a quick cup of coffee. But LOD, yeah, there's no way that they lose.
And I feel you're going to get the same sentiment for the main event, too.
Man, I don't know. I feel like, well, it's kind of one of those you send the crowd home happy, but again, this is our WrestleMania main event. This is our WrestleMania, goddammit.
Yeah, but we've been booking it on the ebbs and flows, so... But you already got your pop.
Fair enough.
Doom.
Okay. But we did... All right, hang on. We got some great pops with... You're right, Legion of Doom. The faces went over in the 8-man tag. We did get some heels with Flair winning and Rousey and Baszler, Bret Hart. We're at the main event, and it's the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, against the Real American, Hulk Hogan. Again, face and heel. It's the ultimate match that we all wanted at WrestleMania 8 that we had for about a week, and Vince is like, no, I'm not ready for that. Both guys will be here in a year, right? We'll wait. What do you do? Do you send the crowd home happy with Hogan winning? Or
I mean, sending him home on a loss like that, like Flair winning is I'm a guy who likes an unhappy ending, so
But we could set up for top of wrestling's WrestleMania 2 next year. Flair walks in as your champion.
We just started.
Just do it all over again next year.
That's why I have this document, so we can do it again next year.
I will say I think Hogan does take the win. If you're going to end WrestleMania, it's a greatest event of all time. I mean, I would like to see it end on a bad note because that's just you want to have feuds and storylines, but we're just booking one show here. You know, we booked that one greatest Survivor Series of all time. Well, we just booked your greatest WrestleMania. Look, I don't think that it necessarily mattered when it came to numbers, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I just squeaked by. I think I won. By one match.
Okay, good.
I don't think it matters to you.
I won.
It really doesn't matter.
I won.
No, that was good. That was fun. It's at least matches that 99% of them were things we've never seen, for the most part. So that's at least something to think about.
Did a good job.
That's what we do. We bring you the top moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So you guys ever need anybody to book your fantasy event? We're the ones. Thanks so much for listening to the Top of Wrestling podcast. This has been quite an episode. It's been a long episode, but guess what?
3 hours?
It's gonna be a long 3 hours, but guess what? It's going to be a long fucking weekend, baby, because it's WrestleMania week. Enjoy it all. We'll be back next week. We'll have that WrestleMania hangover just like the rest of you. I am the Professor. As always, I bid you a farewell. O.D.M., he leaves you with just 4 words.
100th episode next week.
The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor, Mark Fantasia, and O.D.M., Joe Rizzo, with special weekly segments by Nightwing the Analyst, Rashawn Hilton. Without your continued support, it would just be some guys talking wrestling. Feel free to interact with the show on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com.
Spending my days working hard on the go, but the hand on the clock keeps spinning too slow. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. You know that Nightwing and O.D.M. are getting sick and tired of hearing me sing this week after week, but you know they're liars, 'cause I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. I'll sing this goddamn song, all I want is my show. Maybe it's true Joe has a one-track mind, but it's hard to concentrate with a brain that's like mine. That's right, baby. The Top of Wrestling Podcast knows that Eldo Montoya can be just incredible, and Bill DeMott can be very goddamn humorous. I'll sing this goddamn song all I want. It's my show.